Hi y'all, good morning. Get your hind ends out of bed, let's go fishing. That sun, it's already up over the tree line. I'm late getting up out here myself, so we gotta get some baits on and go for it, man. I've got a big bucket full of live baits. I've got us a cooler full of cut bait options. We're gonna give these fish, we're gonna give them a buffet today, at least what we can give them anyway with 2 rods. We're gonna offer them up some options. So let's get this piece of cut bait on first. It'll be the easiest one to get hold of since it ain't bouncing around and jumping around anymore. But we're gonna start with a skipjack head for our cut bait. This is a smaller skipjack. All the skips I have are kind of on the small side. So we'll do just a head of bait and part of the meat of it there. 10-aught size hook, 80-pound leader. We've got an 8-ounce egg sinker. You probably can't see any of that because you're looking right into the sun right now. You best get your sunglasses on. But we're gonna drop that Carolina rig down. We're gonna let it hit bottom. It's already on bottom because we're fishing shallow today. And set that there. Now, let's get our next rig here. And we're gonna get us a big live bait on here, folks. Let me get the cutting board out of the way. I went ultralight fishing yesterday, and I've kept a bunch of bluegill, and we're gonna try to get us one here. I don't want that one. I want one that's got some size to it here. Let me get I don't want that neither. Give me one of them big ones out there, y'all. That one's gonna be our thumbnail. I got well, let me just get this one right here. I got a red-breasted sunfish. Them things are just beautiful fish, I think anyway. They got the orange and the neon blue. He's gonna be our thumbnail probably for this video. So we're gonna save him till the lighting's a little better. Well, here's bluegill number 1. We're gonna roll, we got 2 rods today in my pedal kayak. Something splashing right there. We're gonna roll with a piece of cut bait and a live bait out here and see what this will do for us. Now let me show you, let me dry my hands, and I'm gonna take a camera here, show you on the graph, kind of give you a visual on a contour map of how we're gonna be fishing today. We're gonna be drift fishing. We're going with the current right now, which is moving us at 0.4. Perfect, that's a perfect drifting speed. And I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this with the sun, how it is, but we're working a ledge. This is the ledge right here. You got the land, we've got the main river channel here behind us. Now, the river channel is pretty flat. It's pretty consistent all the way across until you get right over in here, and it comes up at a very steep angle, very sharp. That's signified on the contour map by them lines real close together. That signifies a rapid change in depth. So what we want to do is we want to work the edge right before it starts to come up. We want to work the edge all the way downriver. And we're going to take a big long stretch today. I'm probably going to fish till about lunchtime, so we should be covering somewhere around 2 miles of this ledge today. Now, if we really get on some fish, maybe we sit there in an area for a little while, but I really just want to cover water and move. There's a lot of fish right now. At least when I was fishing the shallows last week, there was a lot of fish kind of in this area. They're transitioning up, they're moving upriver, getting ready to spawn here in 2 or 3 weeks probably, maybe sooner, depending on how things go. We got to, well, I don't see it now. It's disappeared out of the sky, but oh, it's back over yonder there. I don't know if you can see it. The moon is almost full. You know, we're in middle of May now, so the spawn, the catfish spawn here in East Tennessee, it varies every year. Sometimes it's May, late May, sometimes early June. Moon phases, water temperature, water conditions can all affect it. I know fish are gonna go on the spawn when I stop catching them. That's when I know they're on the nest. So anyway, we're gonna just drift down through here, y'all. 24 feet deep right now, water temp's 69. Water levels are up. We had a bunch of rain here a couple days ago, and water levels up a foot or 2. So we've got some change in water conditions, but I'm gonna come back out here and try it again. I fished this area twice last week. I got big fish both days. And then I had a tournament down on Nickajack, so I went down there and fished, and then it started raining. And so I've been kind of stuck, not being able to get back out. And yesterday I made a bait run, and so I did some ultralight fishing, got us some bluegill, got us some skipjack. I'm gonna get us spun right now, if y'all bear with me here, folks. I don't want to stare into that sun all day, and I doubt you do either, so I'm gonna turn us. That way our back's facing the sun. There's a little pro tip for you there. If you don't want to get blinded by the sun, don't look into it. Write that down, kids. That'll help you out later in life. You won't have these, ooh, something big splashed right there. You won't have them crow's feet, them lines on your face if you ain't squinting all the time. Yeah, let me just get a spun around here. So what I'm gonna do today, y'all, I'm gonna put y'all here in my chest, and I'm gonna leave the camera rolling. We're gonna go uncut today. Just whatever happens, happens. Y'all see it all, whether we catch fish. Well, if we don't catch fish, you ain't seeing this video. So good news, we caught some fish. Stay tuned for that, or fast forward, whatever it is y'all do. But I'm gonna leave the camera rolling, and we're just gonna go for a drift and just kind of bring you all with me, show you a drift fishing session. I think a lot of times people will watch an edited drift fishing video, and you know, I'll obviously show myself setting up and catching fish and whatnot, but what you miss in the edited version of a drift fishing video is the movement of your baits, the raising and lowering of your baits. Because when you're suspend drifting, which is what we're doing here today, we are suspending our baits just off bottom, and so we want them 2 or 3 feet off bottom as we drift along. Well, one of the common questions I used to get asked back when I had comment box on this channel, my channel members, the only ones have access to comment box now, but one of the common things I would get asked is, do you adjust your baits? How often are you adjusting your baits? There seemed to be a lot of confusion around where your baits are placed as you drift along. And so the answer to that question is pretty simple. Yes, I do adjust my baits depending on the depth. So as we move along and our depth changes, I will raise or lower the baits to compensate, just to try to keep them kind of in that strike zone. Now, you don't see that on an edited video because, you know, that's one of those things that's just not going to make the cut, right? That's just not very, it's not very entertaining. But if you're somebody out there and you're trying to learn how to drift fish, and you watch an edited video and you say, well, Justin dropped his baits down, and you see how I set everything up in the rigs and put it in the rod holder and just drift along, and you go out and do that, and you're not compensating for the depth because you don't see me do that in the video, well, then you end up either one of two things. You end up either coming up a little bit more shallow and your rigs drag bottom and you get snagged up and you have a miserable day because you're hung all the time, or you slide off into some deeper water and now your baits are 10, 15 feet off the bottom, and maybe you're not catching many fish because fish aren't going to come up that far and get it. They may not even know it's there. So I think a drift fishing day like today, where you can kind of come along for the ride and see how I'm going to adjust baits, how I'm going to keep myself positioned on this ledge as we drift down. Things like boat wake, things like wind. Hopefully we won't have much of either out here today, but if we do, and our position gets moved a little bit as we drift along, I'm going to keep us kind of on this ledge here. I want to work, I mean, right on the edge, right on that seam right there. I want to work that. That's very important. I don't want to be way out here, and if we get higher up on this ledge, we're going to be having a hard time with our baits. We're going to be snagged up. I want to be right there on that edge. Because these fish, as they work up and down, oftentimes they'll follow that. It's like a path for them. It's something they can relate to. They'll be just off of it. So that's what we want to do today. I want to keep us on it. I want to drift along. I want to cover some water. And I want to bring you all along on the adventure today. And hopefully there's still some big fish here. Oftentimes when water rises, fish will move shallower, so it's possible they could be up. There's a couple I launched here in a backwater area right behind us. There's another one downstream, and then farther on down, there's another smaller creek that comes in. So fish could be up in there, possibly. Could be looking for nesting sites. But what I'm hoping is that there's still a bunch of fish maybe on the move, working up through here, working upriver. And if there are, and we drift by them with an easy meal, they're going to gobble it up. The fish I were catching last week, they were fat. They were clearly on the feed. So, and they were aggressive too. The first day I come out here last week, I tore them up. Every fish was a good fish. I didn't catch a single dink. The second day I come out was the following day. I didn't get as many fish, but I didn't catch any dinks. It was big fish again. So we want big fish, obviously. That's what we want today. I'm hoping they're still here. I'm hoping some more are moving through. But if the big fish happen to be gone and we catch some smaller fish, well, guess what? I need some of those too, because we've got a slot tournament going on here in the month of May that me and you are competing in. Y'all my fishing partners in this thing. And guess how many fish we have submitted for that tournament so far? 0, goose egg, nada, none, not a single one. Because I've either caught big fish or I've caught fish that are too small to fool with submitting. Because this tournament, and regular, you're sick of hearing about this thing, but it's our 10 fish closest to 30 inches without touching the line. So basically we can score 29 3/4 inch fish is a max score. And 10 of those, that's 297.5 inches. Last month I had 293 inches, I got beat. So we need all of our fish to be over 29 inches to be in contention. So if it's under 29 inches, it ain't worth fooling with. But because we're getting later on into the month here and I still don't have anything submitted, and nobody's really the guy that beat me last month, he's got a pretty good score right now. Second place and down really don't. It's like a 27-inch average at best right now. So we're probably going to go ahead and start submitting some fish that I wouldn't normally fool with, just because we need to get on the board, and even if we don't win, this tournament's paying 5 places, so we're going to try to cash. So if we catch them, what I'm getting at is if we maybe don't get on big fish today, but we get on good numbers maybe of small fish, then we'll use those to our advantage too. So we've got some goals out here today. Number one, we want to have fun, enjoy this beautiful day. Today's going to be the first sunny day we've had in like a week here where I live. It's been rainy and dreary for a daggone week, man. So we're going to get some vitamin D out here, enjoy the day. We're going to hopefully catch some fish. I want to catch some big ones, especially with us fishing shallow today. I'm telling you, right now we're 21 feet deep. Our baits are we probably got 17, 18, 19 feet of line out, give or take. These are going to be intense battles. You hook into a big fish with 18 feet of line out, hang on to your britches, man. It's a good time. They're going to rock the kayak. You're going to get spun around. It is a blast. I love this. I love fishing like this, but I especially love it when you've got a really short line out. I was down there in Nickajack for our national kayak trail event this past weekend, and I was fishing deep, man. I was fishing some areas 110 feet deep. The fish I got, I was getting mostly kind of in that 50 to 60 foot range, but I was suspending baits. I was doing the same technique we're doing here, and it's super fun. It's super fun doing it, but the more line you have out, the less intense the takedowns, the less intense the battles. So if you can get them in these depths here where you're 20 feet, 25 feet deep, Oh, buddy, that's the ticket, man. That's the bee's knees. So that's what we're going after today. We want to have some fun. We want to catch some fish, enjoy this beautiful morning. Hopefully teach some people how to drift fish through this video, because it's a great way to, especially a new person getting into kayak fishing, kayak catfishing. It's a great way to introduce people to the sport, because you don't have to fool with any anchors, right? Like there's no anchor rope, nothing to lose fish in. There's no additional safety concerns. I mean, if you're anchoring a kayak down in current flow, especially if it's a kayak that's not really stable, not good quality, or if you're brand new to kayak fishing and maybe it's your first trip out, you don't want to be fooling with an anchor and anchor rope in current. And so this technique, drifting, you don't have to fool with any of that. So it's eliminate that safety aspect of it. The other thing about this is you really don't need much gear. I mean, today I'm in my pedal kayak here, basic setup. We've got 2 rod holders mounted on the front. We've got our graph. That's really all you need for drift fishing. And it don't have to be a fancy graph, just something that'll show you your depth and your speed. That's all you need. We need to be able to see depth. That's important. I think a graph is an essential piece of gear for drift fishing. Does it have to be a fancy unit? You don't need side scan. You don't need live scope. You don't even need like down imaging type stuff or a fancy chirp transducer. Those used to be fancy about 10 years ago. You can get you a simple black and white 4-inch screen, buy it for $50 at a pawn shop or eBay type thing. Like, you just need to know your depth as you drift along, because you got to be able to raise and lower your baits. Now down through here today, we're not going to tinker with our baits much, because the depth is pretty consistent down through here. We're not going to really drop off. Maybe another quarter mile, half mile or so, we'll drop off to a little bit deeper water and we'll tinker. But for the most part, depth through here is consistent. And that's another thing you want to look for when you're drift fishing, especially if you're starting out drift fishing, is find some places on the map that have consistency in depth, because otherwise you're going to be raising and lowering your baits all day. And that does take away some of the enjoyment of it, but it can also, if you're not paying attention and you come up shallow and you get everything snagged, that's no fun. And if you're new, you definitely want to make sure, especially if you're taking, maybe you're experienced and you're taking somebody out with you that's new, you want to make sure they're having fun. And getting snags never fun. So a graph helps you avoid that, basically. But it don't have to be anything fancy. But otherwise, that's all you need. You need a way to securely mount rods to your kayak and a graph, a basic graph. That's all you need for drift fishing. Now, let's say you've got that, but maybe you don't have a contour map for your river, or maybe your graph don't have a fancy map card in it like this one does. That's okay too. Now, we could go out here and just drift willy-nilly down the river here. We would catch some fish doing that. That's honestly how I fished for a long time. Before I knew how to read a contour map, before I got on, I'm a Buck Perry guy now. I fully believe in his teachings, structure fishing. Buck Perry, he was a bass fisherman. For y'all that may not know, it was back in the day, I think he wrote them books in the 60s or 70s. Well before I was even thought of. Hell, he may have written them books before my parents were thought of. But his teachings are still as relevant today as they have ever been. A fish is a fish is a fish. They still move in the same predictable ways today as they did in his day when he figured it out. So I've become a Buck Perry guy. I follow the contours. I all of my fishing is done with a Buck Perry framework in mind. All of it. Well, I mean, catfishing anyway. If I am ultralight fishing and I don't care about the type of fish, the size of fish, something like that, I'll just go beat the banks, right? But if I'm out looking for big fish like we are today, we're out here going to hopefully catch some big fish today, right? I'm following Buck's teachings. But let's say you don't have a contour map. You don't have a clue who the hell Buck Perry is. You don't know, even if you had a contour map, you wouldn't know how to read it. You just want to go catch some catfish. We could get out here and just drift down the river. You will catch some fish. You'll get a fish here, you get a fish there. Maybe you find yourself in the right place. You don't even know it. You find yourself in the right place, and it's just luck, right? You're just luckily going down the ledge like you would ideally want to if you're following Buck's teachings. You'll catch some fish doing that, but you still got to be able to monitor your depth. I caught a lot of fish doing that, just free drifting, really. It's just getting out there, and I used to do it all the time. Now, when I started following Buck's teachings, I started catching more fish, a lot more fish. And I started getting big fish a lot more frequently. But you can go out and just go drifting down the river and catch some fish. There'll be some fish out in the middle of the damn river channel and everywhere in between. It's just going to be, the bulk of your fish are going to follow those contours. They're going to, especially when they're on the move, like they're going to follow because it's something they can relate to. In a world where everything's the same, look for what's different. And out here, when you've got just a wide section of river that's just flat all the way across, what's different? That ledge. That's what's different. So that's what you're going to get with the fish kind of relating to that ledge. That's why it's like, it's something they can relate to. But, I mean, again, if you're brand new, you don't have to worry about it. It's better to get the technique down, get used to catching fish in your kayak, get used to, you know, what it's going to be like when you hook up, what it's going to be like when you go to land a fish. Get that down and then worry about maximizing how many fish you're going to catch. Because, I mean, you know, maybe you don't want to learn how to read a contour. Maybe you don't want to fool with it. Maybe you don't want to spend the extra money to get a map card in your graph. I get it. You just want to go out and relax, drift down the river, and whatever fish you catch, you catch. I get it. Do it. But this drift fishing, man, it's one of the easiest ways that you can get started. Look right here. Something thumped us right there. That's on our head. I think that was just a small fish. When he first hit it, I thought it might be a flathead, but then it was like he started rolling down there, and I think it was a small one. I got excited for a second, y'all. I was getting into it. I'm ready to get bit, man. I'm ready for it. I ain't catfished in a minute. We had our tournament Saturday. I took Sunday off because I'd fished a bunch of days in a row and of course traveled home there from the tournament. Monday, Tuesday, it rained. Yesterday, Wednesday, I got bait. So Thursday, so it's been 5 days since I've caught a catfish. It's time, buddy. It's time. I'm ready to get after it. But yeah, you know, if you're into kayak fishing or getting into it, this is what I would recommend anybody start with. It's the most minimal gear needed. It's the safest way to go because you're not going to have to deal with an anchor or anchor rope. That's one of the things with kayak fishing. Like, a lot of people, when they get into the sport, they get the cheapest kayak that they can find, which is oftentimes one of those Dick's Sporting Goods or Tractor Supply or Walmart in the summertime will have them kayaks out by their garden center, $200. That's what people end up in. And those kayaks, in addition to being poor quality and usually very uncomfortable, most of the time it's just a little pad on the floor of the kayak you're sitting on, but most of the time they're often very unstable. And you go trying to anchor one of those things where you're tying off a rope to the kayak, and if you're in any kind of current and that current's pulling on your rope, pushing the kayak, which is pulling on the rope, putting downward pressure on that kayak, man, if you're unstable anyway, like, you're begging to go overboard. And then it ain't just out there being anchored that's the real safety issue. The real safety issue is when you go to retrieve that anchor, because your anchor is going to be dug into the river bottom. So you're going to have to pull. And when you pull up on that rope, you are pushing down on your kayak. So you get to lean a little bit, and God forbid you got low sidewalls on that kayak and water comes over. Like, you can get in trouble fast. So when somebody's new, and especially if somebody's starting out in a kayak that they really just shouldn't be in, it's best to just eliminate that. Just eliminate the anchor fishing. And this is something they can still go out, catch fish, catch big fish, enjoy themselves, and hopefully what I would want to happen is, if they start out in a kayak like that, they have enough fun catching fish in it that they want to upgrade and get a better quality kayak. And I've told people this so many times through the years. They reach out and they'll say, hey, I've got $400. I want to get a new kayak. What do you think about this? And it's one of them Tractor Supply or whatever models. And I tell people, I always tell them, like, don't do, if your budget's $400, $500, go into the used market. I know everybody wants new. They want the new shiny kayak, but you're so much better off getting a good quality used kayak that's going to be more comfortable, more stable, more durable than you are of buying the brand new one there at Tractor Supply that's going to be a terrible experience for you. Yeah, it's new and shiny, but if you're out there in the water for 30 minutes and your butt hurts so bad and your back hurts so bad you want to get off the water, that's no good. If you go out there and you flip the thing on day one because it's so unstable, that's no good. And oftentimes you'll find used kayaks, good quality, where somebody bought it, they used it twice, and it's just sat in the garage. It's sat in their barn since then. And now they're looking to get rid of it, to clear up space. It's barely used, and you save hundreds of dollars. And you oftentimes will get accessories with the kayak too. Maybe somebody's got a life jacket, or they've got rod holders on it, or a graph, or something like that. Those accessories on a used kayak don't add any value. They seriously, they add no value to a kayak. So you'll oftentimes get those just kind of thrown in. So that's the way to go. If you're on a limited budget and you're kind of wanting to put your toes in, just dabble in the sport a little bit, see if you like it. Because nobody, when you're new at something, you're wanting to try something out, nobody wants to, our skipjack head. I think he's got it now. Oh. He just let it go. We're gonna have to reel this bait up here in a second because they may have foul hooked it at this point or ripped it completely off. No, it still looks good. There's a dink down there that's messing with it, I guess. All right. Back in it here, folks. Just teasing us again. That's 2 fish now, it's teasing us. But what I was saying, man, when you're, most people anyway, when you're new to something, you don't want to go out and spend thousands of dollars before you even know if you're going to like it, right? You just want to put your toes in the water. Just see if dabble a little bit. Just see if you're going to like it. And so that's why I recommend going the used route. Because let's say you try it out and you hate it. And you're like, man, kayak fishing, oh, something's after our live bait now. I don't know if something hit him or if he was running from something. Well, we're around some fish here, folks. We're around them. We know something's going on right here. I do got to move us forward a little bit. We're going to run up a little bit shallower. But where I was going, you try it out, and maybe kayak fishing just isn't for you. And it's not for everybody. I mean, I have fun doing this, and I think people that watch my videos, I hope it translates through the screen that I love this. I mean, this is what I do. But it ain't for everybody. And if you try it out and it's not for you, and you've went to Walmart and bought one of them $200 kayaks, you go to sell that thing, you ain't getting your money back out of it. Like, you're going to take a loss. You're going to take a loss on it, any accessories that you've bought for it. You're going to take a loss. If you go the used route, get you a good quality used kayak, shop around, get you a deal. You try it out, you don't like it. Well, when you go to sell it, you can probably get your money back out of it. You're definitely going to get a bigger percentage of your money back than what you will buying a new one. Because, I mean, anything. It don't matter if it's a kayak, a car, a toaster. It don't matter. Once something is used, once you leave the store with it, and your kayak ain't hit the water yet, you ain't opened the toaster out of the box yet. Once it's out the store, it's considered used. The value drops. So you're going to take a hit on that. Whereas you go the used kayak route, try it out. Yeah, you'll go through the hassle of selling it, but you're going to go through the hassle of whether it's a new one or a used one, right? So you can get your money back out of it. And you're not out anything. So I just think it puts you in a better, you're in a better spot financially, and you're in a better chance to enjoy kayak fishing right out the gate. I look back at my own experience. I got into kayak fishing because I was out in Las Vegas on vacation, and I went on a kayak tour below Hoover Dam. Not a fishing trip, just a sightseeing tour in kayaks. That was my first time ever being in a kayak. And it was a lot of fun. And I was thinking out there the whole time, like, man, I want to catch a fish in one of these things. So I come home, and I bought me, I made the mistake I tell everybody else not to do. I went to Dick's Sporting Goods. They were having a sale that weekend. I bought a shiny red Field and Stream, I think it was Eagle Talon, something model kayak. And it was a very poor quality, very thin plastic, very unstable. There, that one's hooked up. That one's taking some line too. Here we go. Look at him go, man. He is still stripping line. Look at him go. Buddy, here we go, man. Fish number 1, he's running. All right. This one here is worth the wait. I'll tighten down on him just a little bit here. He is I mean, he's literally towing us right now. We're 1 mile an hour right now, y'all. He has took off downriver with us. 1.1 miles an hour. He is literally towing us downstream. See if we can get him back over here to us. Man, most of the time cats fight straight up and down. This one here said, I'm getting the hell out of here. I'm taking off. I think it's a blue. He feels like a pretty good one too, man. This feels like a good fish. Goodness. Another advantage here of drifting today, don't have to worry about this fish getting in no anchor rope. Nothing for him to get in here except any potential debris that may be on the river bottom. He's down there on bottom right now too, man. He is under us. This is gonna be a good fish right here. Fish number 1 is gonna be a good one. I wanted to catch a whopper today, man. Oh, I saw a tail. See, look at all them bubbles coming up right there. Look at all them bubbles. Oh, man. I ain't got to look at the whole fish yet. All I've seen's a tail, and it's a big one. Come back up here, fish. Let me get a look at you now. He don't want to be looked at. This fish says it's rude to stare. He's going to get looked at whether he wants to or not. Oh man, look at that, y'all. Look at that fish right there. Nice one. This thing is strong as a bull. Man. Golly bum. This is a thick fish too. I mean, he's got some weight on him. Look at that. And back down he goes. Dang, y'all. You bear with me a second here. I got to do some social media crap. You know, when you got this on YouTube nonsense, you gotta jump through the social media hoops, you know. Since we do an unedited video today, y'all got to be a part of it. I'm gonna get him back over here and do a little reel. He don't want to come back over here though, I'll tell you that. Oh goodness, all right. Y'all, first fish of the day is a daggone whopper, man. This thing was a battle, towing the kayak over 1 mile an hour downriver when he took off just peeling line. I'm trying to get him subdued up here so I can try to get a hold of him, but that is an absolute beast of a fish right there, man. We're off to a good start. How about that, folks? That's some social media prowess right there for you. The nonsense you have to do to get a click on a video. Let's get back up here. I want to land this thing though before something goes wrong. I want to get a picture with this one. We're going to turn into the sun too when we do. Let me get I got my sunglasses here somewhere. Bear with me here. I'll get my shades on, y'all. We're gonna have to face into the sun on this fish because We'll get a good picture. That's another pro tip right there for you. Face the sun when you're getting pictures with fish. If you got the sun behind you, everything's gonna have a shadow on it. And check out my gloves too. Shout out to my channel member. He's part of the Kayak Catfish Club, Larry. He sent me some new gloves. Oh man, look at this fish, y'all. Look at that thing. You think he's ready? Let's find out. Let's find out if we can get hold of him here. Uh-huh. Oh, buddy. Oh man, y'all, look at that thing. Look at it. Goodness gracious. That's a dang good fish right there. Let me get this hook out of him. That one right there was hooked perfectly. Just how you'd want. Oh man, y'all. Let me set y'all up here. Hold on, fish. Bear with me a second here, folks. You know what we gotta do. We gotta get us stuff turned around here. All right. Let me fist pump it before we hold him up though. Y'all, this thing's crooked too. Y'all hold that camera up straight for me, would you? There we go. Yes, y'all. Okay. Look at that fish, man. Fish number one, buddy. We're off to a hell of a start. There's still some big fish here. They are still here in this area, and we just got us one. Ripping line off, towing us down river over 1 mile an hour. Oh, that's awesome. Oh, love it, y'all. All right, you ready to go home, fish? He says, heck yeah. We'll see ya. There he goes. Yes, buddy. That's what I'm talking about right there. I want some more of that. All right, here's what let's do. That bait, it's probably still okay, but we're gonna go ahead and switch it out. Since we're only running one cut bait today, we're gonna go ahead and try to keep it as fresh as possible. I wanna turn though, I wanna come back up here and go up above where we just caught that fish and drift through it again. I wanna just come through that area again in case he had a friend or two, you never know. Fish like that could be running solo, riding solo. What was that song? Riding solo? I don't remember. But if he did have some friends, we'll just, and we missed part of this ledge too, as we were getting towed along way too fast. So we'll just come right back up here and we'll do it again. Man, y'all, hey, that was fun, buddy. That was fun right there. That was everything I had hoped it would be. That short line, it's the ticket, man. It is the ticket. Catfish, they fight hard. They don't fight long. So if you've got out 100 yards of line, if you're dragging, or if you anchor down, you casted baits out and you got a lot of line out, you don't get as intense a fight as what you do if you got a short line out and you've got it just right under, you know. All right, let's get situated here. Let's bust out our cutting board. Let's get us another. I'm gonna do another skipjack head. I don't have many skipjack, but we're gonna use the heads first. Now last week, I seem to have done better on the body sections, but these body sections, you can see they're gonna be small just because of the size of the skipjack. All right. This one though, we will save Because I mean, it still looks okay, honestly. Because I mean, it's still got part of the innards hanging out of it there. I'm gonna put it back in the cooler. We may end up reusing that. We couldn't run it through the mouth again, but we could hook the meat. But let's just go ahead and get a super fresh bait on, since we're only running one cut bait. Down it goes. And there it is. Got it on bottom. We'll reel down, raise up. So we're 20 feet deep right now. So our bait's probably going to be 18 feet-ish. I'm going to reel up our bluegill. Let's see what he's like after he got hit there earlier. Is he still... Yeah, he's still moving a little bit. Let's send him back down. We ain't gonna play his games much now. We're gonna replace him if need be. I got some more in there, and I don't want to take them things home. It's a pain in the patootie carrying around them live baits. I done spilled the water in my vehicle taking a turn a little too quick today. So I'm gonna have nasty, sour, bluegill pooped river water baking in the vehicle while we out here today. I'm gonna open up the door and the stench is gonna hit me. My girlfriend's gonna kill me when she gets in. She knows, buddy. She gets in, she's like, "You've had that bait bucket in here." I'm like, "Yep." But there was a big splash in front of us. All right, I kind of want to get us, I want to back us up a little bit. I want to get us turned, that way we ain't looking directly into the sun again. Man, folks, that's fun right there. He's hit it again. There's another one that's hit it. Oh no. Did he rip our bait off? Nope. We got hit again right there. We just come across something. Oh no, I'm hung in it too. No, that's a fish. That's a fish. I'll be doggone. That's a fish. Let me show you. Look right there. You see that on the screen? I thought I was hung in it. It's right there on the edge of that ledge too. I need to mark that. Put a little waypoint right there. Bear with me as I do that there, folks. Okay. All right, well now we got a waypoint there. We'll mark that for future reference. It's some kind of brush pile or something. That's another pretty good fish. Not as big as the last one, but that's a pretty good one. He's fired up. He was sitting on that brush pile or whatever it is. My dumb ass thought we was hung in it. Bluegill not getting touched over there. We're gonna fire that bluegill if he don't get on it. We'll cut him up. Goodness gracious, that's a long fish right there, y'all. That's a long one. He's got a skinny body for his length, but he is a long fish. Well, I say he's got a skinny body. I look at him like that, and he's got some meat on him. But folks, take note of this. Now, yeah, we've got 2 rods out right now. One of them obviously got the live bait. But if you're new to the sport, or maybe you ain't got a lot of gear, you only got 1 rod, that's okay. Because let's say we just had this 1 cut bait rod today, we would have already got 2 big fish here. Like, you don't have to have 87 rods like most of these catfishermen fish with. You don't have to. You can go out with 1 rod and have a damn good time. If you're on fish, you're going to catch them. Whether you got 1 rod or 27 rods, you're going to get bit. You can only reel in 1 at a time. So Don't let lack of gear deter you. Let's get hold of this thing. I want to drop this bait down. I want to land this fish and drop this bait right back down. I want to put it right back down under us. I actually want to go, right back above that brush pile. He was hanging out over there at that brush pile. Oh, Lord, fish. You get me all sopping wet now. Don't do that to me, fish. Let's get that slime off here. No. Y'all holler at that fish. Tell him quit that. Tell him to quit it. We ain't putting up with his crap today. You gonna act like somebody now. You whooped. You whooped, fish. You're beat. Now there's a time to act out when you trying to get away. But once I got hands on you, you whooped. It's officially, when I touch the fish, it's considered a catch. All right, you sit right there and think about what you've done, how you've behaved today. I'm gonna rehook this bait and drop it down real quick. Yeah, it's still perfect condition, man. We just literally had it down there. Let's send it back down. I'm gonna hold this fish up and then we're gonna go right back above that brush pile again. That's the type of spot you anchor on right there, folks. We're not doing that today, but for future reference. Okay. Hey, y'all, now that y'all got some practice doing picture taking with that other fish, give me a picture of this one too, why don't you? Hold the camera straight, there you go. That's another one, not as big as the last one, but a dang nice fish. Got some length to him. That's probably, I'd say that's probably a 40-inch fish right there. Just with the length, I mean, his body needs some filling out, but lengthwise, that's a dang nice fish. Thought I was snagged in that brush pile. I'm a dumb, you made me look dumb, fish, on video. I can't even edit that out because we ain't edited. Oh, buddy, we're on them today, man. Two big fish. Two big fish here in the first hour. Where are we at? 50 some odd minutes. All right. Let's grab this and let's just, me and you, turn around and just pedal back up here above that brush pile. You know, that dang bluegill, he got lively at one point there, but he ain't doing much for us. We may, I don't know, I want to keep a live bait out. I do, I want to keep a live bait out because I've went through all the trouble of keeping them things alive overnight and stinking up my vehicle because I spilt water in it. Like, I want to use them damn live baits. It's such a hassle though. Any of y'all know that y'all use live baits, you know what a hassle it is. Try to keep them alive, transport them. You know, in kayak, you've got limited space for bait tanks and coolers and all that. So like, you know what a hassle it is to deal with live bait. And so the fact I've dealt with that hassle, I want to use the daggone things. But I also want to get us as many big fish as possible today too. All right. Time we come to a rest here and the current starts moving us back down river, we should be right over here by that, whatever it is. I called it a brush pile, I don't know. Something sticking up off the bottom there that I thought we were going to be hung in. Man, y'all, that's so much fun. What a good day. I'm so happy these fish are still here in this area. It just tickles me fancy. It's more fun doing it too in a smaller kayak like this. I took my big kayak to the tournament last weekend because I need the space for that big measuring board, whatnot, and I've got to bow mount motor on it, so I need the bigger kayak for the weight capacity, for the motor and the batteries. And I had a bait tank with me that day, and of course need the space for the board. So like you need a bigger kayak for all that crap. But from just a perspective of going out, a fun day of fishing, I would so much rather be in a smaller kayak. It's so much more fun. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of me in this kayak, my Hobie Lynx kayak, and maybe too, I'm still trying to find a way to try out that Native Slayer 10, which I'm hoping would maybe replace this kayak potentially, and just be a little bit smaller package. This one's 13 feet long, 36 inches wide. The one I'm looking at is 10 feet long and 34 inches wide. So you lose 3 foot in length and 2 inches in width at the widest part. And I think it's going to be a little bit more nimble and a little bit more, the takedown is going to be a little bit more intense on that kayak potentially. We'll see. I got to try it out. I got concerns with the pedal drive system in it, concerns with the seat height. I've got concerns with it, right? Like I want to try that thing out before I commit to buying one, and I'm having trouble getting it worked out where I can demo one. So nevertheless though, it's just more fun in a smaller kayak, and that's how I want to spend my time, man. The last few years, I have really focused on getting maximum amount of content. Because I mean, that's part of the job, right? Like doing this YouTube crap for a living, like you've got to get content. And there's a balance. You have to strike a balance with yourself as to what you are going to sacrifice for that content, right? Like, just as an example, my other kayak there, the Hobie Pro Angler with the motor, all the gadgets, accessories. Like, having that motor gives me an expanded range that I just won't have with the pedals. It gives me the opportunity to take more bait, more gear, more stuff. I can fish in higher winds, worse conditions. All of those things, maybe on one individual day, doesn't make a difference. But over the course of the year, if having the ability to go farther or carry more gear or whatever, if that gets me 5 more videos, 10 more videos, then when I was really in the mindset of growing this channel and maximizing everything, then that extra 5 or 10 videos, like that's super important. But I'm kind of transitioning out of that now to where I'm kind of wanting to get back to focusing on me and doing what I love to do the most. And that may cost me some videos. I may get less trips, but it's what I want to do. And so I want to get back to kind of getting away from all of the stuff, the gadgets, the motors. I want to get back to a more simple way of fishing. 2 rods, pedal kayak, go out and have fun, man. And so I love this kayak. I've had this kayak now for, I guess, right at about 4 years. I got it in summer of 21. So almost 4 years I've had this thing, and I love it. I love this kayak. With that said, if it turns out that Native Slayer, if it's just as comfortable for me and the pedal drive is comparable to this, then why not go with a smaller package? Because it's going to be 40 pounds lighter with everything on it. This is like 100, this is, maybe it's 98, 99 pounds, I think, the whole weight. Add in the pedal drive seat, you're like 120, 122, I think, for the weight. So if you take everything out, this kayak's manageable. You can drag it, launch it anywhere. But then you got to make multiple trips down to the water, carrying your pedal drive and all that crap. That Native Slayer with the seat and pedal drive, you're looking at like 85 pounds, I believe. So 40 pounds difference. Shorter length means I can put it in the back of my truck without needing a trailer. This one, I have a trailer that I haul this one on. So I definitely want to consider that kayak, but I've got to be able to demo it. And, you know, that's not worked out to this point for me to be able to do that. As far as the size difference, though, like, I don't think I'm going to miss the size. Like the extra 3 feet of length on this kayak, for instance. The only thing I have in that front hatch up there is my battery for the fish finder. That's literally the only thing in that front hatch. So that's probably 2 to 3 feet of the kayak itself is from where I've got my fish finder mounted forward. That's just empty space. I don't use it. Behind me, the rear tank well of this kayak is actually probably smaller than the rear tank well of that 10-foot Native kayak because of the way it's designed here. Like, this is a very small tank well area for this kayak. And then you look at the back of the kayak there, that's probably, I don't know, 1.5 feet back at where the tank well ends back. That's also space that is used for nothing. So we've easily got 3 or 4 foot of length of this kayak that's just, I'm not using anything on it. So I don't know that losing the length on the kayak is going to necessarily affect me at all. Now, going to the shorter length, you're gonna sacrifice tracking. Like this kayak, when I'm pedaling, I'm going a straight line. I'm not gonna have to use the rudder as much. I'm not gonna be constantly making steering adjustments with the rudder because of that extra length. It's just gonna track better. Whereas the 10-foot, you're gonna be on that rudder a lot more. Like when I'm out in my Hobie Lynx, because of its design, like it's kind of a paddle board with pedals. So it doesn't track well at all. So you're constantly on the rudder handle there to keep yourself going the direction you want to go. But I don't mind that. Like my hand's usually on it anyway when I'm pedaling. Whether I'm steering with it or it's just resting there, like it's on it. So that's not a big deal to me. Now, I'm hoping that the Native Slayer will be a little bit more nimble as far as, and it should be because the length, you should have a tighter turning radius. This thing, when you need to turn it, especially if the wind's blowing and you got a crosswind and like the kayak always wants to turn in to the wind, this thing can be a chore to try to turn. And I'm hoping that the Native Slayer will be more like my Hobie Lynx. I can sit there, if I pump my feet with that Hobie Lynx and turn the rudder handle all one direction, like I can almost do a 360 in place on that thing. So I'm hoping the Native Slayer will be kind of like that. So I may, as much as I love this kayak, I may end up possibly replacing it. Possibly. We'll see. But this has been a really good kayak for me. It's the hull of the Old Town kayaks. It's really good quality. Like I'm not ever going to crack this hull, barring some accident of some kind. This hull, there's a reason why they have a lifetime warranty on these hulls, because they're just so thick, you're just not going to have problems. I mean, when I drilled in to mount those rod holders and bolt them through, I was surprised. I'm like, man, this is the thickest kayak I've ever had. But it's just Old Town kayaks, and that's where the extra weight comes in. You know, I mentioned this kayak you got an extra 40 pounds over the native. Even the whole weight of that native Slayer, I believe, is 65 pounds, whereas this one's, I think, 98, 99. Where does that extra 30 pounds come from? It's the thicker plastic. Now, on this kayak being 3 foot longer, part of that weight is there, obviously, but just the thickness of the plastic is what makes these Old Town kayaks a little heavier than some comparable length kayaks, comparable size in that category. Look right here on our graph. We're coming across some more fish right there. I don't know what those are, but we're coming across some. We're going right over the top of them right now, 22 feet. I probably need to tinker with our baits here. Can't remember where we were at when I lowered them down. I tell you what, let's do too. This bluegill, it's time for him to be switched out. Let's just put something a little bit fresher and more lively on there. Not that sunfish though, I want him to be a thumbnail. It's a beautiful sunfish. Grab you one of them bluegill right there, folks. I don't care which one. Get that one right there. Up, 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 up. Up, up, doggone it. Kept feeling him sliding in my hand. Okay. Next, bluegill going down. Do us better than the last one did. The last bluegill disappointed me, folks. I wanted him to get gobbled up. Okay. Need to make them daggone things worthwhile out here. I want to make sure that I've left my phone on here, folks. Bear with me a second. I had tried doing a post earlier on social media before I got out here, and apparently our cell phone service here is so bad. It's just been running my battery down all day. Well, it is what it is. I don't care about all that crap. All that social media nonsense. You know, I just want to fish. I'm getting to a point, this is my 10th year of doing YouTube, and like I said, man, especially the last few years, I've really tried to do whatever it takes to maximize content. And I'm grateful I did. I'm thankful I done it, because it's paid off for me. It's allowed me to do this for a living. But hold on. Our skipjack head's getting messed with. That one's not acting like a big fish. That one's not acting like one that we want to fool with. We want to maybe throw this one on our measuring board for the slot tournament. He may be too small to even fool with. He's too small to fool with for that. Don't throw that bait off. Don't you dare. You done it. You done gone and done it. You done threw that bait off, and you too small. You way too small to fool with us on a slot tournament. I wish he'd pop off the hook, don't you? Why don't you reach down there and grab that fish for me? I don't know why it is that the big ones are easier to get hold of than the little ones. Open up. Open up. I done have you gone. Well, fish number 3. He's out of here. That one wasn't what we wanted right there, y'all. We need something better than that now. Let's do another one here. do one more head, and then we may rotate in a chunk and see how that does for us. Last week, the bigger fish there was on the chunks. Go up under the gills, out a nostril there. Put this back up and we'll lower it down. All right, 22 feet, let's send it down. Down it goes. But yeah, man, I've been doing this crap for 10 years, and while I'm glad I've done things how I've done them, that's got me this much time, it's not without some sacrifices. Sacrificing doing what you want to do when you want to do it, and you know, and that's part of life. I mean, hell, it's like that with everybody. No matter what you do, you have to. Sometimes you got to do some things that maybe you don't like as much, or maybe don't want to do, so that you can be able to do what you want to do. I mean, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. But with this being my 10th year, I'm kind of getting to a point where it's time to start thinking about winding this crap down a little bit, cutting back. I want to get back to spending the majority of the time on the water, fishing how I want, in the kayak I want. You know, whether it hurts me possibly getting content that day, so be it. If I get less videos, so be it. But I want to get back to the type of kayak fishing that made me fall in love with kayak fishing to begin with. I'm still going to keep my Hobie Pro Angler, because I mean, I want to have access to it for tournament purposes. I want to catch that fish right there if he hits that bait again. But I mean, I want that kayak for tournament purposes. I want to be able, maybe if I've pedaled hard for 3 days and my legs are a little tired, back's a little tired, be able to hop in the other kayak with the motor, take a little break, still go fishing. So, I mean, I want access to it for that purposes, but I want to, this right here is what made me, this kind of fishing, this is what made me fall in love with it, and this is what I want to get back to. It's time to get back to me a little bit. Not that the last few years hasn't been, again, I know I sound ridiculous because I'm still getting to go out and go fishing, but it is that's all I can say, it's just different. When you go out with the mindset of doing whatever I have to do to get content today versus I'm just going to go out and have the most fun possible day, and if I get content, great. It's a different mindset, and that's been a challenge for me, I guess, is transitioning that mindset, because I guess I'm type A personality enough that, like, if I'm doing something, I'm all in. Like, I'm going to be the best I can be at it. Like, whatever it is, like, I'm doing it. I'm kind of one-track mind like that. And while that is helpful sometimes, like when I was in college going through nursing school, like having that focus was very helpful for that. But being able to turn that off, this fish can't turn this bait off. Look at him. He's got it, man. Reel you in another. Here, y'all reel in this one, would you? Reel in this fish. He wants to be reeled in by you, not me. This fish is embarrassed to be caught by a YouTuber. This one here, this one is one that we're going to put on our board right here. This one's got potential to help us for the slot tournament. Don't throw that bait off. Tell him don't do it. He's going to throw that bait off there, and I don't want him to do that. I want to throw that bait back down. We just put that thing on. Come here now. No. He's trying to hook me with that thing. Oh, he's gone. He just unhooked himself. Well, we ain't putting that one on our board then, are we? We remain skunked for the month-long slot tournament. I don't even know what today is, but we're halfway through the month of May here and remain skunked in a month-long tournament. Just ain't been our month for small fish. At least we catching the big ones though. But yeah, like I was saying, man, my ability to have a one-track mind and just lock in on something, focus on something, that's helpful when I'm working toward a goal. But it can also be a detriment at times when you need to be able to turn that switch off and relax and have fun. Like my mind just I can't flip that switch very easily. When I'm focused on something, I remain focused on it. It kind of consumes me, and it can take away from other things. And the last few years, when I've been so focused on getting content, it's kind of taken away a little bit from doing what I want to do. It can take away from family time, relationships, things like that. Because like even if there's times, even when I'm present, mentally I'm not always present. I'm thinking about something else. I'm working through a problem in my mind. I'm focused on the next thing. And I'm trying to be better at that. It's a blessing, and my ability to focus on a task is a blessing and a curse. It was very helpful getting me through school. It was very helpful when I was working in the ER as a nurse, but just in real life stuff, it can be a problem at times. My personality at times can just be a problem. I had an issue yesterday. The whole exchange, I'll tell you a story here, what happened to me yesterday. It was so odd. I get back yesterday. I went out there yesterday morning. I was ultralight fishing, getting us some bait, right? And I get back to the launch, and it's like 10 o'clock. And I'm loading up the kayak, and a guy, he pulled in the parking lot, he's got a boat, he's getting ready to launch. And when I'm loading up, like I'm very socially awkward. So I don't approach people to engage in conversation. I will engage in conversation when people approach me, but I don't seek it out. I don't make eye contact. Usually, I think my body language is in such a way to not invite engaging in conversation, I think. I don't know how to really word that, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like my body language would suggest don't talk to me oftentimes. Because I'm not good in social situations. It's a personality flaw, one of my many. So anyway, I'm out there yesterday. I'm loading up, this guy pulls up. And he says, what did he say right off the bat? He said something like, you quitting on it, you giving up on it, something like that. I forget how he said something and it threw me off. It wasn't what I was expecting. The wording of it wasn't what I was expecting. But it was something along those lines, like you quitting on it, you giving up or something like that. And I was like, I guess. And then he said, was it about to rain or something? And I was like, I don't think so. And then he was like, well, this seems awful early for you to be leaving. And I was like, well, do I owe you an explanation of why I'm leaving right now? And he was like, man, I was just making conversation. I'm just trying to be friendly. And I was like, dude, you're weird. I literally said that to him because the whole thing was weird. No, like how he approached me. Like it was weird. It was a weird situation. And again, I'm socially awkward, so if I'm uncomfortable, I'm going to make you uncomfortable. Not meaning to, it's just because it's awkward. I'm socially awkward. And so if I'm put in a situation, like if you come up and you approach me normally, we're going to be okay. But if you approach me in such a way, if you throw me off, and I don't really know how to respond, like what kind of response, that was the thing. However, I don't remember exactly what he said now. It pisses me off. I can't remember his exact wording of how he approached me. But whatever he said, in my mind, I didn't really understand what it was he was asking. And that's what started the shit show. Because it just deteriorated from there. Once I was uncomfortable, everybody's going to be uncomfortable. It's just the way it is. So I literally told the guy, I was like, dude, you're weird. And he was like, sorry, I'll leave you alone. I was just being friendly. And he goes and does his thing. And I'm like, what an odd exchange. What an odd thing. And like, look, I'm sure he was well-intentioned. I'm sure he truly was just trying to be friendly. But it's just on me. Like the old George Costanza, it's not you, it's me. Like he put me in a situation. I didn't know how to respond. That made me uncomfortable. And I responded in such a way that made him uncomfortable, and it just deteriorated from there. Like it was a bad exchange. And I think culturally, maybe it was a difference. He had an accent, like maybe he was from up north. So maybe it was a north-south cultural type thing that was different between me and him. Maybe there was a miscommunication because of that potentially. But it was just an odd exchange. And it was one of those things that could be avoided if people would just stop with the chit-chat at boat ramps. I am so sick of that. Like, it's one thing, like, look, if it's somebody, if I'm at a boat ramp, I'm launching, loading, whatever, and somebody recognizes me from YouTube and they want to come up and say, hi, recognize you from YouTube, whatever, like, that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable. Like, that is okay. If somebody wants to approach me because they recognize me from this YouTube nonsense, perfectly fine. I get that all the time, and it's never awkward in that situation. Sometimes people will come up at a boat ramp, and they see the kayak, and they've got a question about the kayak. Maybe they're thinking about getting a kayak, and they want to ask me some questions, or they're interested in my specific kayak, they want to ask me questions about it. Again, that's fine. That's perfectly acceptable too. That is conversation. Both of those situations are conversations with a purpose, right? Like a person's coming up, they want to introduce themselves because of YouTube. That's a purpose. Somebody's coming up, they got questions about the kayak, or they're wanting more information about kayak fishing. Like, that conversation has a meaning. It's meaningful conversation. When people approach me at a boat ramp though, and it's just chit-chat, meaningless chit-chat. Like what I think this guy yesterday was maybe attempting to do was just meaningless conversing. I can't stand that. Like, I would rather us not speak. Like it's one, like, if you want to be polite, I don't want to be rude to people. I don't want to purposely be rude. Like if I'm at a boat ramp and if we're right there beside each other, I will say, hey, good morning. Hey, how's it going? Acknowledge the person, exchange a pleasantry. Good morning, good afternoon, how's it going? That's fine. But going beyond that into I just call it meaningless chit chat. How's the weather? Catch a bunch of fish today? It's just, I can't stand it. I don't do good with it. And most of the time I get through it okay without issue. But yesterday, and I can't remember his exact wording of how he approached me. It was odd though. However he said it, it just threw me off. And I remember I responded like, I guess, and that prompted him to go into was it about to rain or something? And I'm like, I don't think so. I'm literally like, what do you want from me? In my mind, I'm responding to him externally, but in my mind, mentally, I'm like, what does this guy want from me right now? What is he getting at? So it was awkward, and I kind of, I called the guy weird. I should have apologized to him, but I was still, at that point, I was still just so like, it was a weird exchange. Like the whole thing was weird. So it's a personality flaw. It's not him, it's me. If he had approached 10 other people with that same entry line, the other 10 people would have probably give him a standard acceptable response. But I'd about be willing to bet he'll never use that, whatever that line was, that exact wording, I'd be willing to bet he never uses it again. Or he'll never talk to any random stranger at a boat ramp again. So, yeah, it was odd, man. Part of me feels bad about it, but then there's part of me that's like, you know what, just don't talk to strangers. We were told as kids, I remember this, it was a big deal, like kindergarten probably, first grade. Don't talk to strangers. If a stranger offers you candy, don't take it. If a stranger tries to open up their car door and get you to go on a ride with them, don't get in. Like, don't talk to strangers. We were told, I don't know if kids today are told that or not. But in my generation growing up, we were specifically told, don't talk to strangers. And yet when we go to a boat ramp, we are expected to have a conversation with strangers every single time. I guess the world has changed. Culturally, the world has just changed. Now, I was listening to Colin, I like Colin Cowherd, sports talk guy. And so I watch his show. I don't watch the whole show usually, but I'll watch clips of it. And I guess it's kind of like a lot of you all are on my channel here. Colin Cowherd, he's on for 3 hours a day, Monday through Friday, but me, I don't watch the full 3 hours, but I'll watch a clip here and there of the show. And I imagine that's kind of how people are with me. Like these long videos, some of yous will watch the full 3-4 hours and others will just kind of break it down to pieces. But, you know, it's funny. I don't know. I wonder if people gripe and complain to Colin Cowherd that his show's too long, like they do me. I wonder if I ever get to meet Colin Cowherd, that's what I'm going to ask him. Like if we're maybe crossing paths in an airport someday, I'm going to have a socially awkward exchange with Colin Cowherd, and the one thing I'm going to ask him, hey Colin, has anybody ever told you that your show is too long? Do people ever gripe and complain to you about your show being 3 hours? I'm going to ask him that. But one of the things, where I was going, one of the things that he had talked about on the show, I can't remember what prompted the topic exactly, but he was talking about how the world has changed. And one of the things was getting in the car with strangers. 20 years ago, you would have never just got in the car with a random person you didn't know. But nowadays, he'll dial up an Uber for his kids, which is sending them out with a stranger in a car, right? The world's changed. We live in a different time now. And I'm at that age, I'm 43 now. And I'm at a pivotal point in life. I'm truly at middle age. Oftentimes, and this is sad to think about, but like, it used to be people in their 50s and 60s, that was considered quote unquote middle age, right? That's bullarchy, man. The average lifespan's like 78 for a man. So you do the math on that, you get to your late 30s, you're middle age. So I'm middle age right now at 43, maybe getting just beyond that. And I'm kind of at that point in life where I'm getting more and more set in my ways. And that's a bad place to be. On one hand, you've kind of got life figured out as far as what works for you and what don't, what you like and what you don't. And so from that aspect, it's like you don't have to waste a lot of time figuring some stuff out because you've already formulated an opinion on what it is you like and what you don't. But that can also cause you to be a little bit rigid and maybe less receptive of new ideas, new ways of life, new cultures. And I don't want to be old man yelling at the clouds. I don't want to be that. So I'm trying to be mindful of it while at the same time too, not wasting a lot of time on stuff that I just know I'm not going to enjoy or not going to like or not going to believe in or whatever the case. Because I'm running out of time. Like it's that simple. I'm running out of time. Today is probably the best day my life, maybe with a few exceptions, today could be the very best day of my life that I'll ever have left. Could be that way with all of you out there right now. No matter where you live, what's going on, your age, like today, take advantage of it because it could very well be the best day of your life for the rest of your life. You never know, man. You never know what's coming. You could have a health problem. You could have a family issue of some kind, maybe a death in your family, an illness in your family, something that just totally disrupts your life. And 5 years from now, you look back and you'd be like, man, I wish I could go back in time to where you are right now today, whatever it is you were doing. So I don't want to take days for granted. And therefore, I don't want to waste a lot of time on things that I just have life experience enough to know I'm not going to enjoy or want to be a part of or put thought into changing how I think on a certain topic or issue. But I also don't want to be rigid. So it's kind of a transitionary time in my life where, because I think when you're young, when you're say you're in your 20s, maybe your early 30s, you don't have, most people anyway, some people, life circumstances, they're forced to grow up a little quicker. But I think most of us in our 20s, we might think we know something, but really we don't know a damn thing. Like, we just don't have the life experience to pull from in situations, and therefore we're more likely to be open-minded to whatever it is that we're experiencing or talking about or whatever. I think young people are way more open-minded than people age 40 and up, because they just don't have the life experience. They're still formulating, like me and you, well, I say me and you, some of y'all out there are younger, but some of y'all out there watching this are a lot older too. But me and those of you who are 40 and up, like, we've had enough life experience now, both good and bad, that when we're faced with a new situation of some kind, like, we pull from those old experiences, good and bad. Whereas young people, they're just maybe more present and in the moment than what we are, because we're instantly, oftentimes, at least I'll speak for myself, oftentimes just I'll hear something and instantly dismiss it, instantly shut it down. So, I don't know. I don't want to be old man yelling at the clouds. But I don't know. We're working on the balance, I guess, is what I'm getting at. And I hope today isn't the best day of my life. I mean, we're off to a damn good start here. We've got a beautiful day. I'm on the water doing what I love. We've got 2 big fish and a couple others. Like, we're having a good day, but I hope this ain't the best day of my life. Like, I hope we've got better days coming. My girlfriend, I hope she don't hear me say this is probably the best day of my life, because we got our wedding coming up here in a few months. So I know she's counting on that being the best day of my life. It probably will be. I'm starting to get a little bit stressed out about it. Not from the marrying her part. Like, I'm okay with that. I was okay with that when I decided to get her the ring and whatnot. Like, I had made that decision. Good with it. The part that's getting to me now about this whole wedding thing is the social interactions I'm going to have with strangers. Like, we just talked about my experience at the boat ramp yesterday, right? Like, that was awkward, that was weird, but I'm never going to have to see that guy again. When it comes to a wedding, some of those people, maybe they're distant relatives on her side. Like, I may not see them all the time. Hold on. Our bluegill's getting lively down there. He jumped around a little bit. I don't know, maybe something got at him. Well, right there on the screen, I think something maybe was coming up to investigate him. I'm gonna check our baits here, make sure we're not too far off the bottom. Same with him too, maybe need to lower him down a little bit. But like, if I have a socially awkward exchange like I had yesterday, except it's with some distant relative on her family, I'm gonna have to see them again at some point. And it's gonna be weird. I don't want it to be weird on her special day. So I'm kind of starting to stress about that a little bit. Then there's the situation of, what are you supposed to do for people? So our wedding, we're getting married in Las Vegas. I mean, just a traditional wedding, of course, out there in Las Vegas. And her idea, not mine. I'm all for it, but still. But anyway, we've kind of just done it like, if you want to go, here's like an invite type thing, right? Because, I mean, it's a long ways for people to travel. I mean, most people's gonna have a connecting flight to get there. It ain't, fortunately, we've got a direct flight out of Knoxville, but it's a long ways to go for people. So if people come out there, you know, and we've got a place there in the casino that's one of their marriage chapels there, or whatever, in the casino. And so you go in, you do your thing. It's like, what do you do afterwards? Because most weddings, the weddings I've been to, they're at like a venue. So they'll have a catering brought in, and there's a reception afterwards, and everybody eats and dances and all that nonsense, right? But in this situation, like, we're going to be in the wedding area there at the casino, and then we will leave there. What do we do afterwards? Do we go to a restaurant? Do we rent a room in the casino and have catering brought in? Like, what's appropriate? And, hold on. What's appropriate is we got a fish on right here. Oh, get that rod out. He slammed that head. Slammed it. He's barely fighting now. He's wrapped up in that line. He is constricted in that line. He is going to act a fool when he comes undone. Roll him out of that line. He's going to get us sopping wet. Oh, our bluegill. He can work on getting himself out of that line. Our live bluegill finally got eat. We just went through some fish right here. We've gone through a school or something. That fish he's come undone over there now. He's going crazy on the other rod. That fish on the left is one we're going to put on our measuring board, and this one is too. And then we're going to go back up and go through this area again. All right, folks. Well, we had a little drought there, and then boom, 2 rods go down. Both with fish that could potentially help us for our slot tournament. We'll throw them on the board and find out. Got to be under 30 inches. This one here is definitely going to be in that probably 28 to 31 inch range, I would say. So he's one we're going to put on there. The other one I think is comparable too. This one may be a little over, possibly. Ain't but one way to find out. That's to land him and put him on the board. All right, fish. Get the hook out. We'll grab our board here. Well, heck far. Why can't I get that hook out of him? There we go. Let's just set our board here. And let's see what we got. Oh, buddy, look at this, y'all. I think he's going to hit 29 1/4. Okay, well, we do have one issue. My tournament identifier is not here. It is in the other kayak that I fished the tournament in. But I do have a marker. Let me get my hatch closed there. I do have a marker. And our tournament identifier this month is the number 17. So I will mark that on my hand, and we will make sure his tail here is take a couple pictures there. His head's against the board. He's touching 29 1/4. Okay. Thanks, fish. That's one of the 10 we need. Adios. Arrivederci. Aloha. That's about all I know. Set that over here. Now let's try this one. This one here, another one that's looks like he's going to be right there in the range we need. He doesn't look like he's hooked particularly well. Nope. He about ripped Larry's glove off here. I tell you, Larry hooked me up with a big pack of gloves, man. Shout out to Larry. This fish don't like Larry here. We'll dedicate this fish to Larry, why don't we? Fish, you're officially dedicated to Larry, who got me the gloves. Okay, let's get her board again. Get your measuring board again here, folks. Okay. Let's see this. Oh, this one here's too long. He's 31 inches. Old fun sizer right there. Well, one out of the two worked out for us. Let me put my board here behind me so that it don't go overboard. Don't want to lose that thing. There we go. All right. Hey, folks, a double. That was a good time. I want to try one of these body sections. We're going to stick with the live bait, of course, on the other rod, but I want to put a chunk on, see what that'll do. Throw that tail out. I'm caring about that. So let's, I want to go right back up here. Actually, we're not really moving right now. The wind's blowing upstream. We're not really moving. It's offsetting the current. So we're not going to move at all. We'll just sit right here. I know we're not moving because I see that post behind me over here. It's kind of a marker, visual marker of where we were. So let's drop that down and we'll get our next live bait on. Today's a good day, man. We're getting some fish. We're getting some numbers of fish, and we've got quality fish. We got a fish toward our score on the slot tournament. Like, today's a good day, man. Could be the best day of our life. Okay. This bluegill's being awful calm. I got a feeling when I stick him, he ain't gonna be calm. There he goes. I need you to get down there. Good, bluegill, you saving your energy. I need you to get down there and wiggle around a little bit. See if you can get us another 29+ inch fish. Yeah, I left my tournament identifier in my other kayak. Thankfully though, I've got that marker in this one in case I'm, in a bass tournament or something like that and I need a marker to write down the identifier, which I ain't fished a bass tournament in forever, but yeah. All right, let me turn my phone back off there before we run our battery down some more. Did I get it? There it went. Okay. All right, yeah, we'll just sit here a second and then I'm probably gonna have to pedal us forward to offset this wind. It's not blowing hard. It actually feels pretty good, but it is offsetting the current, so we're not really moving. The good thing though is our scent is still moving. Like our cut bait, it's still going down river here in front of us while we move at 0.1. I want to cover a little bit more water than this. But yeah, like I was saying, like in this situation, what is it we're supposed to do for people? I mean, they've come a long ways. We need to do something for them, right? Like, I mean, they've bought plane tickets and hotel rooms and all that out there. Like, need to do something. Feed them, I guess. But at the same time too, I mean, some of them restaurants in Vegas are very expensive. Like, you don't want to just go in there and open tab type thing, have a $10,000 bill. Because, I mean, look, me, I don't have any friends. And all my family is pretty much dead except my parents. So my mom, she's coming. My dad, he can't physically, he just don't have good enough mobility anymore to be able to do that kind of trip. Like to get on the airplane, be trapped in that tiny seat for 4 hours, and then for any of y'all that have ever been to Las Vegas, like, you know the distance you have to cover out there, not only the airports, but once you get into the casinos even. I mean, it's a lot of walking in Vegas, unless you got one of them jazzy chairs or whatever, but you see a lot of them there be some old person chain smoking on a jazzy chair at them slot machines. But my dad, he's just not physically able to, doesn't have the mobility at this point to be able to make the trip. So I've got my mom going, right? Like, that's all from my side of my family. That's it. That's the only family member I've got going to this wedding, because everybody else is dead in my family, with the exception, I got one aunt that's still alive and some cousins, her kids, but they're out in Oklahoma, and you know, we're friends on social media, but that's the extent of our relationship. Like, I've probably seen them in the 43 years I've been alive. I've probably seen my aunt and those cousins maybe 5 times, definitely less than 10 times our whole life. Usually it's for a funeral. You know, my grandparents died. They were there for each of those funerals. My other aunt and my uncle died. They were there for those funerals, and then a few summer vacations as kids and stuff. They would come and stay with my grandparents for a few days. Like, that's like, you know, so I mean, like, we're family, but we're not really close, if that makes sense. Like, we've always been, like, my aunt has lived in Oklahoma my whole life, so like it wasn't like she just moved out there recently. Like, we've never had like a close relationship or anything. So it's my mom's the only family member I have coming to this wedding. Meanwhile, my girlfriend, she's got family upon family, distant cousins, multiple aunts. I mean, she's probably got 20, 30 people family-wise coming to this thing. So we got a lot of mouths to feed. That's what I'm getting at here. Plus, then you got friends that are coming too. And so fortunately, again, in my situation, I don't have any friends. So I don't really have very many people that's coming. Meanwhile, my girlfriend, you know, she's a lot more personable than I am, so she's got multiple friends coming. So yeah, I'm going to be in some socially awkward situations. And I hope it goes well. I'm starting to it's months away. It's in October, so I got a long time to worry about this, but sometimes I start to think about it. I'm like, boy, this could get really uncomfortable really quick. So hopefully that goes well. But then here's the other thing I got to figure out. What do you get people like that do something for you? Because like one of my friends that's coming, so here's call it destiny, if you will. So I have a friend I met, gosh, maybe, I'm trying to think when I worked there. I met him in Clarksville, Tennessee. I was working at, doing a travel nurse contract out there, and I think it was maybe 2013 or 14. Anyway, he had just got out of nursing school, new grad out there at the hospital. He was working as a staff nurse there, and I was there on travel contract. And him and I kept in touch a little bit. He was, you know, him and I, we got along there working together, kept in touch. Well, I ended up going back to Clarksville and doing another travel nurse contract a few years after that, after I was there the first time. And he let me stay with him when I went back the second time. Like, he had an extra room in his house, and he let me stay there free of charge, which was awesome. And so at that point, you know, him and I kind of got to be better friends and stuff, because we were around each other more. And his dogs, he's got these big Great Dane dogs, and they're awesome. And so anyway, since then, I can't remember what year I went back for the second contract, maybe 2017, 2018, I don't know, it's been a long time. But since then, anyway, him and I keep in touch occasionally. Like, it's hard to be friends with me because I don't keep in touch with anybody. I don't follow up. Like, I'm a hard person to be friends with. So you can't get your feelings hurt if I don't send you a birthday message or a monthly check-in type thing. Like, to be friends with me, you have to be willing to go 6 months to a year without me acknowledging your existence. And I know that's terrible, but I'm just not a social person. And in this case, my friend Matt here, he's not on social media. Like, he's never had a Facebook. He's never had an Instagram. Like, he is completely, like, you know, anti-social media. Always has been. It's probably why I get along with him so well. So just being straight up honest with you, sometimes I forget about him. But every once in a while, about once every 6 months to a year, I'll be like, oh, you know, I wonder if Matt's still alive. And I'll send him a text. Or he'll wonder if I'm still alive, and because he don't watch this YouTube crap none. So, you know, he'll be wondering if I'm still alive, and he'll send a text or call or something. So about once every year or so, we'll exchange some text messages or maybe a phone call. Well, you know, I got engaged there a few months ago, and Matt, out of the blue, texts me. This was back in January. He texted me. He said, dude, you ain't gonna believe what I've done. He said, I've took a class online. I've become an ordained minister. I'm like, what the hell is he doing? Well, my friend Matt, his initials are MLK, and he thought it would be funny if he could become a reverend. That way, on MLK Day in January, he could have his own day. And I thought, yeah, that's pretty creative. And I said, well, now that you're an ordained minister, I said, have you had anybody ask you to, like, do their marriage ceremony? And he said, no, but that would be the coolest thing. He said, man, if somebody would let me marry him, like, I would travel, I would do anything to do that, just so I could say I've done it. And I was like, Matt, this is divine intervention. Because it just so happens, since we've last spoken, I have gotten engaged. So I said, I'm gonna have to sell my girlfriend on this. Like, I'm gonna have to try to talk her into this. But I may be able to get you a job marrying me and her. And he was like, dude, if you can make that happen, I will travel anywhere. I will be there. So I talked to the girlfriend about it, and she's perfectly cool with it. Like, you know, I thankfully she wasn't dead set on Elvis marrying us, so she's cool with Matt being our reverend, minister, whatever you call the person that marries you. She's cool with him doing it. So, since he's doing me a solid, I've obviously got to do something for him, right? Like, I've got to do something for him. What do you do for him in this situation? Now, I'm going to pay for his hotel out there for however many days he comes in for. We're flying out on a Friday and coming back on a Monday. Our wedding day is on a Sunday, so like we're flying out Friday, we'll have Saturday, get married Sunday afternoon, and we're coming home on Monday. And we're going to do our honeymoon on after the fact. We're going to go somewhere else other than Vegas. We haven't figured that out yet. But like, I've got to do something for Matt, for him being willing to come out there and marry us. Now, he's working. He's a travel nurse now. And when I talked to him there in January, he was working in Nevada. So if he's still in Nevada, he could drive there to Las Vegas. So I wouldn't necessarily be on the hook for a plane ticket. But I feel like, I'm going to pay for the hotel, but I feel like I need to do something more for him since he's doing this wedding ceremony. Like, what do you do? What do you do in this situation? Like when I was in a wedding, and I make sure now, if I become friends with somebody, which I try not to be friends with anybody, I make sure they're either already married or not getting married. Because I don't want to be in any more weddings, but I had to be in one. I've had to be in a couple. But they get you like some stupid ass embroidered gift or engraved gift. I remember like one wedding I was in, I got a flask with my initials on it. Like, I don't drink. What the hell am I going to do with a flask? And why do I care about having one with initials on it? Like, I mean, that thing got thrown in the trash. I don't care about that. Of course, my friend and his wife at the time, they got divorced anyway, so it's probably good to throw that stuff out anyhow. But it's like, I don't want to do something stupid like that. Like, if I'm going to get him a gift, it needs to be something that's practical, right? Like, I don't want to do some stupid thing that's got his initials embroidered on there. So I don't really know what to do. And that's stressing me out. And then it's like, I don't have any friends. Do I have to have like a best man or something? Because she's probably going to have 36 bridesmaids because of all her friends and family and stuff. So like, what am I supposed to do with that? I got like 2 friends, maybe 3. And pro moderator, like, he can't come to this wedding. Like, he can't, because he'll be trying to get with all of my girlfriend's friends. He'll be trying to get every one of them there. Like, it'll be a mess. So he can't come. And then there's, Daniel, owner of Catfish Sumo there, I'm good friends with. Like, I don't know if he's coming or not. I told him about it. I don't know if he's coming. But if he does come, do I have to rope him into being a best man? Because he's there I told Matt, I'm like, look, dude, you might have to marry me and be the best man and be an usher and a ring bearer or whatever else too. Like, you may have to do it all. But I don't think he can do it all, being the reverend and whatnot. So, I don't know. It's kind of stressful. Probably be more stressful as it gets closer. Thankfully, she's handling everything. Like, all the arrangements. She's already booked the flights. I've booked my mother's flight for her. We got that done. Yeah, so she's handling all of that stuff. But for me, it's mostly the social interaction part of it that I'm worried about. Like, what do I say? What do I do? Like, how am I supposed to, like, her family and stuff, like these distant relatives, like, do I have to approach them? Do I just stand by the door? Is this like a funeral where everybody walks by and shakes your hand after a family member died? Like, what is expected of me? I don't know the answers to these things. I just don't. I'm not into weddings. Like, I don't go to them. I've been forced to go to like 2 in my life. So, yeah, it's weird, man. Part of me would be just glad to get it over with. And I know that's bad to be like that, but like, these weddings and stuff, it ain't about the man, it's about the woman, right? Like, it's a woman special. I've never really cared about marriage and all that stuff. It's important to her and she's important to me. But like, for me, as a man, like, we don't grow up. That's where men and women are different. Women grow up dreaming of their wedding day their whole life. They got little Barbie dolls and My Little Ponies, and they have weddings and stuff with them dolls as a kid. Like, that's their life's dream, is to get married. Men, you know, we grow up dreaming of being a professional baseball player, hitting home runs, driving cars really fast. I mean, that's what we think about growing up. We're not thinking about marriage and stuff. So, yeah. So anyway, it's coming, y'all. It's going down. And I got to figure out something to get Matt. I don't know. And I hope to God he's practiced. Like, I guess when he took his ordained minister class online, he probably had to practice marrying people, right? Like, that's probably part of the curriculum to get your certificate. I guess. I don't know how this stuff works. But he's got his own day now. MLK Day, that's his day. Yeah, he's really the best type of friend for me to have. The Deuce, Mark Naraki, that's another one that's just like Matt. And like, we can go 6 months to a year not even thinking about each other. Just completely forgetting that the other person exists. And then one of us will remember, like, oh yeah, I wonder if that person's still alive, and call me up or send a text, and we just pick up right where we left off 6 months to a year prior in conversation. Like, that's awesome. Some people, you know, God forbid you don't send them a birthday text. They get all tore up about it. Or if you don't hang out with them, they just, they get all butthurt and stuff. Like me, if you're going to be friends with me, you just got to accept the fact that we're only going to maybe talk or text once a year. I mean, I've got a few people that text me too damn much, and I tolerate. But like, my friends, like, we just don't communicate that often. Now, I've always been like that. I've never been somebody that's going to have just daily conversations and hang out daily and stuff like that. I'm just too introverted for that. As evidenced by my conversation at the boat ramp yesterday. Like, I just don't, you know, I do good. I do good with my girlfriend. Like, her and I guess she accepts my social awkwardness. Like, I mean, her and I mean, we see each other every day. I mean, we live together. So it's like, I guess I'm adapted to that. But other people, it's weird. I just don't. I've never been like that. Hell, my girlfriend, she's the only one any person that I even want to be around all the time. I don't like people that much. Even people I like, I don't like them when I have to be around them all the time. So, yeah, y'all, there's where that's at. Hopefully some of y'all have hopefully some channel members, people actually comment, will have some ideas on what I'm supposed to give them, gifts, and how I'm supposed to interact with these people. Back to the fishing though for a minute. Kind of going through another little dry spell here of catching fish. I'm just slowly pedaling along here to try to keep our speed about a half a mile an hour going into this wind. Now, I've got the fancy pants microphone on today, so hopefully you're not going to be getting too much wind noise on the microphone, but I'm just trying to keep our speed half a mile an hour, and I'm looking, well, I may have conjured one up over here on that live bluegill. There he goes, live bluegill. Live bluegill goes down. This ain't gonna be no monster, but hopefully he'll be one that's long. Oh, he is long too, look at that. Okay, he's long for his size. He's a skinny one. All right, Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we can do with this. You know, I've got to look at the pictures of that last fish. I wrote the number on my hand. Did I put my hand in the picture? I can't remember if I did or not. Boy, that would be stupid, wouldn't it? That'd be real stupid if I put that number on my hand, my tournament code, and then didn't put my hand in the picture. I could see myself doing that too. Oh, no. Quit that fish. I think now I've seen you up here. I think you're going to be way too short. I think he's going to be way too short from what we need. Yeah, he's not even 27 inches. Too bad, fish. Not fooling with you. Oh, how bad would that be if I didn't put my hand in the picture? It's very well possible. I was sitting here talking to you. I may have not done it. I talked about doing it and then not do it. I'm going to have to look at that in a minute. Let's get us another bluegill here. Oh, that's that sunfish there. I want to save him for the thumbnail today. Okay, here's a big one. All right, bluegill. Whoops. There we go. But, like I was trying to say, I'm trying to just keep us on this ledge. I'm sitting there watching that graph. I'm watching where we're at on the map and trying to keep us butted up here to the edge of it as we make our way down while maintaining our speed. Now, if you've got one of the bow mount motors with GPS functions like on my other kayak there, you can just set your speed on the motor, set your course, and let that thing drive for you. Sit back and wait on the fish. When you're in a pedal kayak like we are today, you've got to manually propel yourself and you've got to keep an eye on the graph and keep yourself where you need to be. So you're a little bit more engaged doing this style of fishing because you've got to not only watch your depth, which we're not having to adjust our baits up and down through much through here because the depth's been consistent the whole way down. So that's nice at least. But we do have to keep an eye on where we're positioned at and our speed. That bluegill, buddy, he's lively down there. I don't know if something was after him or if he's just getting settled into having that hook in his back. I guess he's just getting settled in there. I've got to look at this picture here, folks. Did I screw up? Y'all bear with me a second. No, I had my hand in it. I'm good. Boy, that would have been stupid. That would have been real stupid. I've done dumber things, but that would have been stupid. We got one on the left rod here. Something's after it. I see what's after it right there too. Look, you can see fish right there. We just went over the top of. The wind is it's blowing upriver and kind of at an angle, so it's kind of pushing us off this ledge a little bit. Just going to keep working us back over here. Don't want to get too far away from that. I want to be cozied up to the edge of it right before it starts to come up. Seems like there was something else that happened recently that I was going to tell you all about too. My memory is just... I'd been taking notes of stuff, but I can't remember if I marked that down because it seemed like Let me see if I made a note. I don't think I did. Let me just see. No. Well, my phone battery's about dead. I had my phone open trying to upload that thing first thing and forgot about it there, and well, my battery's about shot. Here's something I will tell you, maybe of benefit to some of you. I went to the Apple store the other day. It rained there, and so I went up to the mall. Went to the Apple store. I'd set an appointment there to have my phone battery replaced. Well, they won't just replace a battery. They've got to test it first. So you get one of their quote-unquote geniuses. This guy didn't look like no genius to me. But nevertheless, they come out there and go into your settings and whatnot. And it says my battery's at 87%. Like, not like 87% charge for the day, but like 87% capacity. Meaning since I had the battery replaced last time, it's degraded 13%. And I'm like, well, dude, I don't care what that thing says. If I wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning, by noon, I'm having to charge my phone. Like it's dead. Like a battery's just getting run down too quick. Like it's not holding a charge. Now, when I first got that battery replaced, and it's been 2 or 3 years, like I'd get all day long. So he has me go into my settings. And you can pull up your apps that are running in the background. Well, come to find out, Facebook and YouTube was chewing up like 40% of my battery just running in the background while I'm not even using them. And I was like, well, hell, turn that crap off. So he showed me how to do that. And he's like, you may want to look at some of your other apps here too. And I was like, well, I guess I really only need like email notifications or Facebook Messenger notifications. And he's like, you can turn them off to where they're not running in the background and still get those. I'm like, well, hell, far, turn all that stuff off then. So we're doing that, but clearly my battery still got run down today, I guess because the app was open trying to upload that video from first thing this morning and then out here in piss poor cell phone range. For some reason out here, this is a wide open area. Like you can look around, like we don't have big hills or anything on this area through here, but the cell phone service is pretty much non-existent. You get one bar. It's awful. I don't know why it's so poor through here, but it's about 2025. You just can't get good cell phone service everywhere. They spend all that money on TV commercials, Verizon, AT&T, all of them, but yet we don't have good service. That's one thing too. With all this technology we've got nowadays, I feel like cell phone technology, and I'm not talking about the actual phones. I mean, those have had big improvements the last few years. I mean, with the quality of the camera, the various apps. I mean, cell phones are just miniature brains, really, in the palm of our hand. But I'm talking about the actual cell phone call ability. Like whatever the technology is that allows me to dial up a number and talk to someone on the other end of the line. It's like we went from landlines back in the day. I mean, when I was a kid, there was no cell phones. It was landlines. You had the rotary phone. Then I remember we got a cordless phone as a kid. It had this big long antenna you had to pull out. Then cell phones come along. And now you can talk with no lines at all, just through the air. I don't feel like there's been any improvement in technology since then. I mean, however cell phone voices are transmitted through the air, is that like the pinnacle? Is that as good as it gets?
Because, I mean, there has to be a better way, right? Because, I mean, I'm out here today in the middle of the river in a wide open area and don't have cell phone service. Like, there has to be a better way. But they've just stopped. They was 3G, 4G, 5G. I don't know what all them G's stand for, but the service never got better. It never got better. My parents, the area they live, you have to have AT&T. That's the only cell phone that works down there. And it don't work well, but it has to be AT&T. If you're on Verizon or US Cellular or Cricket, one of those, forget about it. People that have Verizon have to park at the end of the road and have a conversation. Because once they go down that road, they have no service. The various G's, 3G, 4G, 5G, there has been no improvement in the ability to make a call. In my experience anyway. Zero improvement. So I don't know what, maybe it's the different G's, you can run different apps maybe. I mean, the apps have certainly gotten better over the last decade on cell phones. Those have certainly improved a lot, but that's probably not the cell phone service. That's just due to the improvement of the phones, right? Because all that stuff's done via internet. Maybe that's what 5G does. Maybe you get better internet on your cell phone. Here, left rod. Oh, buddy, he just took off. That fish got a lot stronger there when he surged. I don't think he's going to be very big. He's not going to be very big. Yeah, he's not going to be one we need to put on the board either. He had a hard surge right there, I guess just from the fact that we've got 20 feet of line out there or less. He was able to pull on my arm a little bit, but not very big fish. Let's try another body chunk. I want to try another body chunk here, folks. But we may have to go back. I got a few more skipjack in there. We can use the heads. I don't know if them big fish, their first thing that we got, was it a bait thing because we were using the heads? Or was it a location thing? Or was it just time of day? I got out here kind of late. Well, about 30 minutes later than I wanted to. I'd like to have been out here right as the sunlight started to peak up. So I was a little bit late coming out, but was it a morning bite? Was them big fish there just eating right there in the morning? I don't know. We're gonna keep making our way down through here though and try to find some more. I'm gonna get us turned back around. Again, the wind blowing this way, your kayak, I don't care what kayak you're in, it always wants to turn sideways into the wind. They all do that. So you kind of gotta get yourself going into the wind and stay on the rudder to keep yourself going how you want to. This is one of them things though, man, it's just, the simplicity of it, I guess, appeals to me. The fact when I get home today, I have no batteries to charge, that's always big for me. Like I don't know what it is about plugging in a battery, but I just don't want to do it. I just don't. When I get home, I want to get out of my vehicle and go inside. I don't want to have to go and pull out the battery charger and plug it in the battery. Like, I just don't want to do it. Now, we do have a battery here with my graph, but I got a 30 amp hour battery, a little lithium 30 amp hour. It's about, I don't know, yay big. That'll power that graph. I charge it once ever, depending on how often I use it, maybe every 2 weeks, maybe a month,
depending on how often it's been used. Like that graph don't pull much power. And that battery is big enough that I just don't have to charge it very often. And if I take this kayak somewhere, I charge that battery before I leave the house, and I'll charge it again when I get home. Like I can go on vacation with that graph and not have to take a battery charger with me. But wind's picking up now all of a sudden. I didn't think it was going to be super windy today, but it really just picked up all of a sudden, just out of nowhere. The way it's coming kind of from this direction, it shouldn't cause us any problems if it continues to pick up, I wouldn't think. What we don't want to do, suspend fishing like we are today, we don't want to be in real choppy water. We don't want to be bouncing up and down. You don't want that. That's going to negatively impact your bite. So I don't like doing this in choppy water, but if it keeps blowing this way, even if the speed picks up, I think we'll be okay. Now, if it was to shift directions and start coming directly upriver here and blow against what little current we have, then it might get a little choppy because it's a wide open, straight area right here. But if it keeps going this way, I think we're going to be okay. But yeah, there's part of me that's just drawn to the simplicity of it. And going back to the size of the kayak, I like being in a smaller, I won't say necessarily smaller kayak, but just a more narrow kayak so that you get the more fun when you get takedowns and stuff. Like the first real fishing kayak, I got that kayak there at Dick's Sporting Goods. Maybe I was about to go into that story. I think I was. Then we got that big fish and I got sidetracked. But I had done what I'd tell everybody else not to do. Now I bought the shiny new kayak there at Dick's Sporting Goods on sale. And it was so uncomfortable. It was literally just a little pad on the floor of the kayak you'd sit on. It was so miserably uncomfortable. Thank goodness I had enough fun in it though to try to find me, to motivate me to buy a better quality kayak instead of just quitting because it was super uncomfortable. And I did. I bought a used Native Ultimate 14.5, meaning it was 14.5 foot long, but it was only 30 inches wide. Very narrow kayak. Stable due to the hull design, but very narrow. And I had so much fun in that kayak. And yes, it was a longer kayak, but how narrow it was. Man, like you got some big takedowns in that kayak. It was awesome. So I don't necessarily want to go back to a 30-inch wide. I don't even know if you can get a 30-inch wide kayak you can probably still get that model. I think they still make the Native Ultimate, but most of these pedal kayaks with a seat high enough to be comfortable, you're looking at somewhere 34, 36 inches wide. I think the Hobie Revolution is a little bit more narrow width, but your seat is setting lower down. The Hobie Revolution is one I would consider if they ever redesign the seat. And Hobie, to my knowledge, Hobie is still in financial trouble. I haven't heard any new rumors in a while. Last I had heard, the equity firm that owns them was looking to unload them, trying to sell them. But I haven't heard anything new as far as any developments and who's interested, who's buying, the price, and all that. So Hobie ain't really, I don't think they're coming out with anything new this year while they're kind of in financial limbo. But what I want out of a kayak these days is I want pedals. I don't want to go back to paddling. I want the pedals. The pedals give me the benefit of remaining human powered, so don't need the motor, don't need a big battery, but still expanding my range beyond a paddle. So I want that. I want it to fit in the back of my truck without a bed extender, and I want it to be light enough that it's manageable without the need for a trailer. I want to be able to get it up and down a steep boat ramp. If I'm launching in an area that doesn't have a ramp, I'm just putting it on the side of the road somewhere, I want to be able to do that. And it needs to be light enough to do that. So when you start putting those parameters on things, there's very few potential options. So that Native Slayer, it's the number one for me to potentially try out right now. Again, I'm not opposed to, if that kayak doesn't work out though, I'm not opposed to keeping this one. Like I said, I can launch this thing pretty much anywhere. I do haul it on a trailer. I can put it in the truck. When I went to Louisiana with it last year, I took it in the truck, but I had to use my bed extender. It's just, this kayak is heavy enough that if you drag it, if you have to drag it a good ways, you don't want to be trying to drag it with the pedal drive and all that. Like it gets heavy. You want to make multiple trips. I'd like to be able to do it all in one. So, yeah, it's kind of where I'm at with it. But I want to spend this year, as I kind of, as I pull back from YouTube a little bit and just try to get back to me. Not worry so much about getting, I'm going to put out videos and hopefully still get a fair number of videos, but like, I don't want getting videos coming at the expense of doing exactly what I want to do on a particular day. I don't want that, I don't want it to do that anymore. So, that's where I'm at with it, folks. I want to catch fish, I want to have fun, and I want to do it in a small, I want to catch, look at them right there. We got 1, 2, 3, at least 4 fish right there under us right now. I want to catch one of those. We've come across some fish today, man. I don't know what it's going to take to trigger a bite from them. We've got a couple of them live bluegill eat now. We would have probably done better with 2 pieces of cut bait. But I was going ultralight fishing yesterday. I was in the mood. Well, speaking of them right there, one of them fish that we went across just hit that bait. He didn't eat it though. But I was in the mood to do some ultralight fishing. I'm catching them bluegill, and I'm like, man, I'm gonna try to keep some alive versus just throwing them in the cooler. Down there when I fished the tournament in Nickajack this past weekend, as the wind gusts again, I caught some fish on live bluegill. Like the bluegill for part of the day outperformed my cut bait. So, I definitely wanted to come try them here where I know there's some big fish. Hold on a second here, folks. I got to get me a swig. That wind blowing in my face has made my throat dry. It's really picking up too. It is really just, in the last 20, 30 minutes, really just ramped up for some reason. I did not think it was going to be a windy day today. Them clouds moving in, I hope we're not going to get wet. I thought all this rain was moved out. I didn't bring an umbrella or nothing. But the tournament this weekend down there on Nickajack, it went well for me. I won the thing, which not only got $1,480 for the win, but it also put me back in the points lead. We're 2 tournaments into the 2025 season, and so I've got a 2-point lead over second place right now, which I don't know this year. I don't know if the prize has been announced for Angler of the Year. I don't know. Last year it paid out 3 places. I got 2nd place in the Angler of the Year points race last year, and I think it was over $1,000 I got for 2nd place, but I don't know if that's been announced this year. So I don't know. Nevertheless, I'm in the lead after 2 tournaments, so self high five to me. But the tournament went well. They really wasn't running much water when we got started at the tournament. Like, it was really a low flow day, but they did pick up around, I guess it was about 12:30, 1 o'clock. They did pick up the flow. And I was working my way back up river, and I ended up getting on the edge of a deep hole. And the way the river channel run down, like, you had a straight channel, and then it kind of had like a side pocket here, and there was a hole right there. But the way the land run, you ended up having a current seam. Like, the current was flowing here, but right here, and what it worked out to be the edge of that hole, like, you were pretty much sitting still. And so I parked right there on the edge, right there in that current seam, and dropped baits down. And man, I didn't have baits down there long at all. And all 3 rods got hit within seconds of each other. Now, I lost one fish, but one of them was my biggest flathead of the year so far. 42, I think it's 42 1/4 inches, I think is what it was. It was a beast of a flathead. And then I got a big blue that also improved my score. So those 2 fish ended up getting me the win. I love going down there and fishing on nickajack. It is just, it's the traffic that gets me, because it don't matter what day of the week, whether it's a weekday or weekend, traffic is always backed up down there around Chattanooga. Like, you're going to hit it every day somewhere. Usually if you're getting on from 24 to 75 on the interstate, you're for sure going to be backed up every day. So it's just far enough away. It's like, for me to get from my house to where I put in there for the tournament, it's about 1 hour and 45 minutes without traffic. So you're looking at like 4-hour round trip to just go down there for a day. So it's just far enough that it's kind of inconvenient to go down. And then you throw in the fact that I just hate the traffic. Especially if here's another thing I'm hoping. If I can get to a point with one of these kayaks where I'm just hauling it in the back of the truck and not dealing with the trailer, maybe it'll motivate me to go farther away more frequently. I hate traveling with the trailer, because you get down there in that traffic and you got to change lanes, and hell, a lot of you that watch these videos are truck drivers. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. It's got to be a pain. That's got to be the worst part of being a truck driver, is the actual driving out there and trying to change lanes on really heavy traffic, heavy flow days out there on the interstate. Like, it's got to be a mess getting people to let you over. But I'm hoping maybe if I just start hauling the kayak in the back of the truck, maybe it'll motivate me to deal with it a little bit more. We'll see. But if it wasn't for that Chattanooga traffic, I would go fish nickajack way more often, because the fishing's it's just a better fishery than my 2 closest bodies of water at home. It's a way better fishery than those 2. And it just, the way the river is there, it suits me on how I like to fish. Like, there's some bodies of water, like, I'll use Santee Cooper, South Carolina, as an example. Now, I fished a couple tournaments over there. I won one. I finished next to last in another, but I did win the big fish prize. when we were over there last fall. So I cashed in it, even though I didn't do worth a flip. I did catch the biggest fish at least. But Santee Cooper is a body of water that does not suit how I like to fish. Like, it's mostly shallow, a lot of stumps. People over there, most of the people that fish over there are dragging baits and they're using planer boards. Because fish are going to be up there oftentimes in them shallow stump fields, eating the mussels and stuff. And you need to spread your baits out and cover water. That's oftentimes what's going to get you your best chance at catching fish and catching big fish on a particular day. That doesn't suit how I like to fish. This fish right here, oh, did he just come undone? He took that rod over pretty hard. Let's see if we still got bait on there. We do, it still looks okay too. I'm gonna send it back down. But Santee Cooper, it just, you know, it's a great fishery. It's a beautiful country over there. I mean, if you've never been to that part of South Carolina, if you're a fisherman, if you're a cat fisherman, I highly recommend going to Santee Cooper at least once. Because it's just, I mean, it's beautiful over there. The cypress trees everywhere, like it's a beautiful area. I love it. The sunrises over there, man, it's amazing. But from a fishing perspective, it just doesn't suit how I like to fish. I like doing this, right? I like to suspend. To suspend, you need some depth. You need some contours, you know, some channel edges, ideally, some points, creek mouths, things like that. Nickajack, because, especially the upper part of Nickajack, because it's such a narrow river channel, and it's got some depth to it. I mean, it's real deep in places. It just suits how I like to fish. Like, it's a perfect place to suspend baits. I mean, it is just prime area to suspend, which is what I want to do. It's how I like to fish, you know. So some places are just more suited to me as a fisherman than others. And that really just, well, that live bluegill got a little antsy for a second. Well, something got after him, I guess. So part of that, I mean, is when you're going somewhere new to fish, whether you're just traveling for a vacation or especially if you are going and fishing a tournament somewhere, you've got to do one of two things. You've either got to adapt to the fishery and do what's going to give you the best chance to succeed on that body of water, or you have got to figure out how you can do what you want to do and what you're maybe good at doing and make that work on that particular body of water. And I mean, there's ways to do that. Maybe if you like suspending baits and you're on a body of water that's mostly shallows and shallow flat, maybe you go to the very top of it and find a river that flows in or something like that, something where you've got some defined channels. Maybe that's how you do it. Or maybe you just get out of your comfort zone and do whatever you have to do. But you got to make a decision to do one or the other. You can't just go out and necessarily do what you like to do in a place where it ain't going to work. Like, that's just not going to lead to good results. And normally when I go places, I try to be adaptable, but I also start out trying to do whatever it is I want to do. Like, goal number one is to be able to catch fish how I want to catch them, but I am willing to adapt to catch fish if I have to. I mean, for a tournament, I want to win. If I'm fishing it, I want to win. I want to cash a check.
for the last few years doing this YouTube crap, like if I go somewhere and what I want to do isn't working and I need to get video content to justify the trip, then I just have to suck it up and do whatever it takes. But Nickajack is one of those places, it just suits me. It just suits how I like to fish, and I wish it was more convenient to go down there more often. You know, the bodies of water I have closer to home are, you can do a little bit of both. I do better suspending on Watts Bar than I do Fort Loudon. But part of that is just because the boat traffic on Fort Loudon, it's oftentimes hard to suspend because you've got houseboats and wakeboarders and jet skis, and you're just constantly bouncing up and down. It's hard to suspend baits like that. Watts Bar has more current flow too, so you fish the upper half, you can oftentimes drift. But Nickajack is just, it's a special fishery. Every time I go down there, not every time, I've had a couple stinkers down there, but it feels like every time I go down there, I have a good trip. Like it just, when I leave my house to go down there, I have an expectation that I'm going to catch big fish that day. And even on tournament day, like most of the day, I had very few bites overall. I think I maybe caught 5 fish total. I mean, it was a very slow day as far as bites go. But just from a confidence perspective, I never really lost hope because I know at any given time what is possible down there. Like there's some days I'm fishing at home on Loudon or Watts Bar. I look at the conditions, time of year, whatever, and I'm just like, yeah, it ain't happening today, right? Like sometimes you just know like it's not going to be your day. Then occasionally you get proven wrong, but you can just, with enough experience, you can go out on the water and be like, yeah, this just ain't going to work today. But on Nickajack, it's like, even a bad day, if you just happen to get lucky and get your bait in front of a big fish, because there just seems to be more big fish there. Seems like there's more good quality fish there than some of the other places I go. One good fish can change your fortune, man. One good fish can salvage any day. There are other bodies of water though, like our next tournament's on Sandusky Bay up in Ohio, Lake Erie. Now it's Channel Cat Lake, but there are huge channel cats in there. That is one of those bodies of water. It doesn't matter how you like to fish, you can make it work. And you will catch fish, and you will catch a bunch of fish. If you like anchor fishing, you're going to catch a bunch of fish. If you like suspending, you're going to catch a bunch of fish. If you want to drag, you can drag. You can do anything you want to do up there and catch a bunch of fish, just because there's so many in there. But that's a special fishery. Like that's not the norm. That's not what you're typically going to get in a fishery. Most of the time you're going to have kind of one part of the river or reservoir that's going to produce better, and you're going to have to do a certain technique that's going to fit that style or fit that area. You know, if the current flow is 1.5 miles an hour on the area you got to fish, well, guess what? You're not going to be suspending baits. You know what I mean? You're not going to be dragging baits. Like you're going to have to either bump or you're going to have to anchor. That's your options. But it's just, anytime you go somewhere, you've got to make one of two decisions. You either adapt or you find a way to make it work doing what it is you're good at or what you want to do. And if you notice, really, most fishermen, there's not a lot of guys that are, or girls that are like what you would consider jack of all trades. Most fishermen kind of have one or two things that they're just really good at. And maybe they do other things and they're okay at it, but like, you see, bass fishing's probably a better type of fishing to kind of compare this to, because you'll have guys that are like really good jig fishermen, right? They're known for it. Or guys that are really good with crankbaits. Like if it's a crankbait bite, that guy's going to win. It's like that in catfishing too. Like you have guys, some are really good dragging, some are really good. You know, I think one of the things is because of Buck Perry and his teachings. But I've gotten good through the years at reading contour maps and finding places that fish are going to work through, where they're going to move to go into areas to feed, or get places they're going to get funneled through as they go up and down in transition when they're on the move. Like I've gotten better at that each and every year. And so when I go to a new body of water, I've been able to find fish. All these places we went for the tournament trail the last 3 years, like everywhere we've been, places have been brand new to me. I've been able to find it out. It's because of my ability to read a map. Like that's my superpower, I guess, if you will. I mean, I'm not saying I'm good enough that it's a superpower, but just understanding how fish move, where they're going to be, how just that, being able to read a contour map, man, that is truly a superpower in itself when it comes to fishing. It is a skill that if you have it, you are always going to have a chance at catching fish. It may not work out every day. Look, just because you can read a map don't mean fish are going to be biting, or that there's going to be fish where you think they're going to be on a particular place. Like I don't mean that. But you're going to have yourself in the best chance to succeed all of the time if you can read a map. And I'm constantly surprised when I do get into conversations with people that aren't weird and awkward like the guy at the boat ramp yesterday. But I'm constantly surprised at people, even some of them that fish our tournament scene. I mean, they're paying money, they're traveling to go compete in a tournament and can't read a map. I had a fella message me after the Nickajack tournament. And he's like, man, he's fished several tournaments now. He still hasn't cashed any of them. He's like, man, I got a new kayak, I've got all the gear, I've got the graph, and I can't get it done. Like, what am I doing wrong? And I was like, man, you've got to learn how fish move. Where are they going to feed? Where are they going to retreat to? And what path are they going to take as they move back and forth? Like, just having the best rods, the best kayak or boat, the fanciest electronics, that don't mean diddly poo if you don't know where to put your baits. I mean, think about all these bass tournaments around. I mean, every one of these boat ramps has got a bass tournament every weekend. All these fellas got $60,000, $80,000, $100,000 boats, all the fanciest rods and lures. Half the damn tournament field won't weigh in a fish. The gear don't make the fisherman. You've got to know where to put your baits.
And you got to have the right bait. You got to be able to catch bait. Look at this guy right here. He's been doing donuts over there in front of that creek, and he's going to drive 12 feet away from us and then stare me down. Jerk. Didn't even bother to wave. I ain't waving to him either. I'm just gonna, he could have went out and around, give us some space. He chose not to. He's gonna put off a big wake as possible. Jerk. But yeah, man, like you go any of these bass tournaments, there's guys, man, I guarantee they got $100,000 between their boat, their electronics, their rods and reels, their lures, and half the field will not weigh in a fish because they don't have a clue how to use that stuff. And that's what I told that fella that reached out to me. I'm like, man, you've got to learn how to read a map, understand how fish are going to move. You got to go out and get good bait. You know, this fella, he was using some frozen bait he had bought at the bait shop. And look, I've used frozen bait in the past. I have caught a lot of fish on frozen bait. But if you are going to use frozen bait, it needs to be properly taken care of. That fish, if you catch a skipjack, it needs to be put on ice immediately. It needs to be frozen as soon as you get home. What happens at a lot of these bait shops, and I ain't calling any of them specifically out, but a lot of them do this. I have had conversations with bait shops that they have tried to buy bait from me before. What they do is they offer people deals under the table. They say, you bring in some skipjack, we'll give you some store credit. $1, $2 per skipjack, store credit. These people ain't bait dealers, folks. That's just Joe Blow out there trying to make a few extra bucks fishing. And so they get on a good skipjack bite. They'll take them in there to the bait shop and they'll stick them in their freezer. You don't have a clue how them skipjack were treated prior to getting to the bait shop. Were they even on ice? Did somebody just sit out there and throw them in a bucket? And they was out there baking in the sun all afternoon while they fished, and then they just take them that afternoon to the bait shop? Like, you don't know what kind of condition that skipjack was in before it got frozen. Did they catch a bunch of skipjack, have them on ice for 3 or 4 days, and whatever's left over, then they take them to the bait shop, freeze them? You don't know. So you don't know what you're getting. If you're going to buy from a bait dealer, it needs to be somebody you know, somebody reputable. Going and spending $8 on a skipjack at a bait shop don't mean anything. The bait shop itself may have a good reputation. They may be a reputable business, but their bait may not be worth a damn. You just don't know where it's come from. This fella had bought some frozen skipjack for bait. And he caught some fish, but it's going to limit your bites. Now me, I had to buy some bait too. I hate buying bait. I had to buy some because I couldn't catch any skips. So I bought some from a local dealer, reputable, and he had caught them. My bait was 3 days old. It was older than what I wanted it to be, but it was still fresh. It had been put on ice right away. I had kept it on ice until tournament day. But if you're going to do the tournaments, man, you got to know where to put your baits. When you go to a new body of water, you've got to be able to read that map and be able to break it down. Like when you're out there pre-fishing, know where you've got limited time. Like you got to know where to spend your time. And then you need to be able to get quality bait. Most of the time, that's going to mean you catching it yourself. But if you don't have those things, if you don't have that knowledge of where to put your baits and then a good quality bait to present to those fish, well, nothing else matters. You can buy the best gear, best kayak boat, you're going to get beat. And it's just, that fella's learning that lesson the hard way. He's been fishing tournaments now. He's fished a bunch of them. And
you know, props to him for continuing to show up. I mean, that's part of it's paying for an education when you're new at something. It's no different than going to vocational school to learn a trade, or college to learn a particular career field. Like, you've got to go in and put in your time and get an education on it. And he's doing that with catfish. He's showing up and he's learning a lot. Yeah, he's taking his lumps. He's getting beat when he's going to these tournaments, but after the tournament's over, everybody goes to check in. You're sitting there talking. Well, we got hit right here. We got hit. Oh, nice takedown. Nice takedown. Did a rod out. It's been a while, y'all, but we just got another one. There we go, buddy. It's good to get another bite as the wind ramps up. This is going to be one right here that's going to be very close for our tournament. We definitely want to measure this one. And then I think when we get done with this fish, I think I want to put another head bait on. The chunk, I don't feel like we're getting bit as often, and we're getting smaller fish with it. It's worth trying to put another head bait on. This one right here is going to be, he's going to be close to what we need. Come here, fishy, calm it down. He ain't wanting to calm down, is he? He says, heck no, I ain't calming down. Come here, fish, come on now. Come on down. Come on down, the price is right. Rod, he would say. All right, grab your measuring board here, folks. One thing about the pedals, I will say, a downside of a pedal kayak is you don't have a lot of space for measuring fish for tournament purposes. Look right here, this is another one that is going to be, he's perfect. He will graze that 29 3/4 inch line. If I can get him set here just right to reach it. Boy, he is. I had him touching that line a second ago. Now he's just short of it. Let me get my phone ready here. Let me get it ready, and then we're gonna, this lawnmower man's going strong over here. Okay. All right. There it is. Perfect. Yes. You just get one more just like that. All right, man. He just grazes that 29 3/4 inch line, y'all. Fish, I ain't giving you no front camera time. You deserve it, but I ain't giving it to you. Thank you, buddy, though. But I'll tell you what I will do. I'll fist pump it, by gosh, because that's a perfect score fish. That gives us 2 fish. We come out here today having no fish on our score. Now we've got 2 over 29 inches today. That's awesome. Do I have any more? Okay, I do. I don't think I have any more skipjack. Got one more here. Let's just do what we'd done there earlier. Take the head and part of that meat. The live bait's just not done for us what I had hoped it would do.
Send that back down. You know what sucks too? It was sunny earlier. Now we've had all these clouds move in. I'm not gonna be able to get my thumbnail like I wanted. I've been saving that big sunfish in there just because of the coloration on it. I wanted it to be my thumbnail. I also brought my ultralight rod with me today. I wasn't planning on using it, but I needed a thumbnail for it too. Oh well. Nobody's gonna watch this crap anyway. What difference does it make about a thumbnail? All right, we're back on it, man. Let's get situated here again. Get us spun back around. The wind's turned to sideways. But yeah, to finish up the topic there I was on, this lawnmower man here is going strong. You've got to you got to take your lumps, man. Whether you're tournament fishing or just trying to get better fishing as a whole. You got to go out there and put your time in. You need to spend more time researching where you need to fish than you do the particular gear. I mean, there's guys that can tell you about every rod, every reel, every type of hook, but yet they don't know where to put their baits. Like the gear is the least of your concerns. And I say that as a guy who has his own signature series rod that I need to be on here trying to sell you. I'm telling you, rods don't matter to an extent. I mean, you need a rod that's obviously capable of handling the fish that you're after, certainly. But it don't matter. If you can't put your bait in front of a fish, how the hell are you going to catch a fish? Don't matter what kind of rod you got. So anyway, hopefully that guy that I'm referring to figures it out. I hope he don't figure it out good enough to start beating me, but I still, you know, I want to keep winning. I like winning. Winning's fun. I got 2 more tournaments left to fish. Well, there's several more tournaments on the tournament trail. But I'm fishing 2 more for sure, weather permitting. I'm going to Sandusky in June, and then Hoover up near Columbus, Ohio in August. After that, they've got Lake of the Ozarks in September. I probably won't go to that just due to the drive. They've got Louisiana's on the schedule again, which I probably won't go to because of the rules in place, and then Texas in October, which I probably won't go to again because of the drive. So I think the angler of the year this year is determined by your best 4 tournament scores. So since I'm only fishing 4, I need to do well in all 4 to have a chance. Unfortunately, I got a first and second. I got second place there on Wheeler in Alabama in April, and so, or maybe it's March. When did we fish Wheeler? Was it March or April? Hell, I can't remember. It all runs together. But nevertheless, I've got a first and a second place finish now. So Sandusky, that's one of those places that I feel you kind of got to get a little bit lucky. More so, I mean, you got to get lucky in every tournament to an extent. But Sandusky, because everybody up there is going to catch fish, like everybody's going to get a limit on Sandusky. Everybody's going to catch fish. Who's going to catch 34-inch fish versus 33-inch fish? That's what's going to determine the winner. Okay, so you got to get a little bit lucky to just be on the right size of fish on that particular day. So I don't know. I fished last year. I didn't go to the Sandusky tournament because the wind was up. It was going to be real high, and I didn't want to go fight it. Oh, left rod. Oh, buddy, look at it. Cut bait is just way out producing the live bait today, y'all. That live bait has let us down. We're gonna switch out the live bait. This one here is not gonna be one we're gonna measure. He's gonna be too short for that, but we're gonna get our bait back, looks like, and it should still be in ideal condition since we just put it on. Then I think we're gonna switch out. We're gonna leave a bluegill on, but we're gonna cut it. We'll see you, buddy. Let's rehook this thing though. He's got it all tore up. There we go. Yeah, let's bring in this live bluegill. We've got some fish right here around this creek or cove or whatever it is right here. Let's bring him in. He may not even still be alive at this point. I'm gonna cut him. Yeah, he's about done. He's barely moving here. Let me, we'll take a bluegill head, send down there. See what that'll do for us. I mean, I wanted to make these live baits. I mean, I wanted them to catch us something big today, but they're just not. We're getting way more action on the cut bait, way more. But we will try at least the bluegill and see if they'll hit the cut bluegill. Maybe they won't hit the live, and that's a bigger bluegill right there. So that's a fairly large size bait. What's going on with our line right here? Lord Almighty, you've got to line. You've got your line through there somehow. What are y'all doing here? Y'all playing games with me. Now we got scale and hook point there. Okay. All right, now we're back in business. All right. We're cooking with Crisco now, folks. We cooking with it. Let's take this and we'll throw this back here in the cooler and nope, we'll throw it behind the cooler apparently. I would have failed on the grand prize game today. I failed on Wordle today too. I always play Wordle first thing when I wake up in the mornings. I had a pretty long streak going. I broke it the other day. The word aware got me. And I'll be damned if I didn't lose again today. What was today's word? I can't remember what today's, hold on. I'm gonna pull this up because I want y'all to know what word got me today. Okay. Wager got me today. Wager. It was eager, I'm sorry. Wager was my last guess. I started with count and then spear, and by the third one, I had the A and the ER, and I went favor, layer, maker, wager. It was eager. I could have took 12 more guesses and not got it, but I broke my daggone streak again. I play it every day though. First thing in the morning, it gets my brain going, I feel like. Boy, how is Lawnmower Man? His yard is as big as most of y'all's living rooms. How is he still mowing over there? Now we got Backhoe Man over here. We just can't get away from the noise. Just gonna be noisy out here, folks, but I feel like there's some fish right here. We got that last one there. I'm seeing some more stuff here on the screen right in front of this. I don't know if this is a creek or a pocket right here, but I want to try to fish it. Unfortunately, the wind has shifted and it is coming upriver against the current now. So I don't know, it may not show up on camera because of these action cameras got the motion stabilization features, but it's getting choppy. It's getting a little choppy out here, and that's, you know, I mean, it's not like it's a problem for us as far as like safety or anything like that. It's not a big deal. But our baits, every time we're rocking these waves, our baits are up and down, herky-jerky. And that can affect your bites to spin fishing for sure. We're gonna ride it out here for a little while longer though. This camera battery normally dies about 4-hour mark, so I'm probably gonna fish a little bit more than that today, but we will at least run up till the camera battery craps out on us. I've been back and forth on these unedited videos. Last year they were all popping, man. Some of them got hundreds of thousands of views. The algorithm was really pushing them out in front of people. Now they just don't get pushed anymore. So it's like, they're not really worthwhile to do, but I enjoy doing this style of video. Like, I like just turning the camera on, bringing you all out here on real trips. Like, I enjoy this. Of all the types of videos I've tried in 10 years of YouTube now, like, I enjoy this style the most. So I've been back and forth, like, this isn't the smartest business move for me to be doing this right now, but it's just what I want to do. And it's kind of like I talked about earlier with fishing in this kayak versus my Hobie Pro Angler. Like, if we were in my Hobie Pro Angler today with the motor, I could have that motor driving down this ledge for us. 4 rod holders, we'd had double the baits out as what we've got today. Like, we would have probably caught some more fish. But I don't care about that. I want to have fun. I want to have the most fun. And I'm kind of getting the same way with YouTube. It's like, there's what you need to do to get the most views and what I want to do. And last year, the worlds converged. Like, I was able to do what I wanted to do and get the most number of views. This year, I'm having to choose. And I've been real back and forth on it. So we're doing an unedited video today. The last few videos, well, my ultralight trip yesterday was unedited, but I only filmed for the first hour. I just fished for me after that. The next 2 or 3 videos, hell, they may be edited videos. Whatever I'm feeling like, if I'm just feeling up, if I wake up in the mornings and I'm just feeling it, like I feel like talking to a camera today, then we're just gonna roll with it. If I wake up and I'm not feeling in the mood, then I'll either do an edited video or just no video at all. That's just how it's gonna be going forward. But I do appreciate those of you that have stuck with me. Some of you have truly been with me for 10 years. The whole 10 years I've been doing this. Some of y'all are just, you're awesome. I appreciate the hell out of you. My channel members, my Catfish Club members, man, y'all have done so much for me. I appreciate all of you. I do members videos, usually either at home, around the house type stuff. I'll do some videos, or out on the water. I'll occasionally do some stuff. But I try to do a members video, like at least once a week, every 10 days, something like that. And those people, man, I've got several channel members that have been with me since I started the channel membership. And there's some awesome people in this YouTube community. There's some weirdos out there in YouTube community too, in internet land. But mostly good people. I think YouTube is kind of representative of life in general. Like, most people are good. Most people are genuinely good people, and then you get a small percentage of weirdos and bad people that just kind of ruin it for everybody else. I've been real fortunate to do this crap for 10 years. But it's kind of,
You know, Pat Riley, I'm not a basketball fan, but Pat Riley is a famous basketball coach, had a lot of success as a player. I think he was a player first, and then a coach, and now a general manager. And I'd read a quote from him one time that said, you should reinvent yourself every 10 years. And I don't think that's bad advice. Because, I mean, if you think about it, as a child, teenage years, you're growing up, education, school, your 20s, you're just kind of getting your bearings, trying to get life together. But 30s is really when life begins. You're kind of settled into a career. I mean, I'm saying this just as a stereotype, right? Most people, but usually by 30, most people, if they're family oriented, they've started a family by 30. If they're career oriented, they've gotten through college or trade school and they're into their career by then. And, you know, life kind of begins in 30s, and then by the time you hit your 60s, 70s, your energy level really starts to decline. At least it seems that way for even the higher functioning people I know at that age. It seems like their energy level really wanes. So you've basically got your 30s, 40s, 50s where you can really just get after it. Whatever it is you want to do, whatever it is you want to accomplish in life, get after it. And if you think about it, like if you spend 10 years going hard after something, oh, that fish went hard after that bait, didn't he? Right here in front of this creek mouth now, or pocket, whatever it is. But I mean, if you spend 10 years really getting after something, and you take Pat Riley's advice and you reinvent yourself, you've really got like an opportunity for three to four real just, I'm trying to think of the word, eras, I guess, like to borrow from Taylor Swift, eras of your life. I mean, like for me, I mean, I'll just throw myself out here as an example right now. So like, you know, prior to this YouTube stuff taking off, I was a nurse, so I had my nurse era. Now for the last 10 years, 5 of it being full-time on here, I've had my YouTube era. It's like, what's next? What's next for me? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. All right, folks, here's what we're going to do right quick. There's a boat over here beside us. I want to get past him, and then we're going to get closer to this ledge over here. I need to be closer to the shore, but I don't want to be closer to him because I don't want to interact with people today. So we're just going to speed up and go on down around them and then circle back. If you all would be agreeable to that. These waves are getting bigger though, folks. The wind shifting directions has really put a flaw in the slaw for us. But yeah, I mean, like, if you do something different, your 30s, 40s, and 50s, I mean, you can have a full life, man. And I don't know what I want to do. I don't know. It's hard to envision. Things just kind of happen for me, really. Like, that's like when I first started college, I didn't start out planning to be a nurse. I was spinning my wheels in college. Like, I just reached a point where I'm like, I've got to do something. What do I want to do? And you start looking around at options, things that would interest me. And it's like, man, if I go to law school, I'm going to take on a ton of debt, and it's going to take forever. Meanwhile, We've got nursing sitting there that's like the most amount of money for least amount of education. And you can get a 2-year degree, associate's degree, and come out and make a nice wage. You're going to have work the rest of your life. You can work anywhere in the country. And so I went with that. I mean, like I said, I didn't start college necessarily thinking, oh, I'm going to go. It wasn't a lifelong dream to go be a nurse. All right, we back over here on this ledge now. We'll slow down, and now that we're around that boat there, I just didn't want to talk to people today. I mean, I'll talk to you all, but I don't want to have like in-person, real-life conversations today. Not after yesterday. I need a break from it. But yeah, so going into nursing there wasn't my intention when I went to college. It just kind of happened, and then, you know, all them years later, it just is what it is. And then YouTube, I didn't mean to become a YouTuber. It was accident, man. My first video, I wasn't even trying to. I'd gotten a camera as a birthday present. I had some footage of it wasn't even videos. It was just me reeling in fish. I wasn't talking to camera or anything, but I didn't have a working computer. I was out of storage space on that SD card. So I used my iPad to upload those clips to YouTube, save on storage space. I never thought anybody'd watch. And then that turned into where we're at now. 190,000 subscribers, I think. Which, I mean, that don't mean anything. That's like a lifetime achievement award on YouTube. We don't have 190,000 people watch, but at some point in time, over the last 10 years, 190,000 different people have watched a video and felt compelled to hit the subscribe button. And that's incredible. Man, 190,000 people. Like, I mean, my town, how many people's in my town? 15,000, 20,000 that I live in? That's crazy to me. 190,000 people. We're going to have to lower our baits down here too. We're 25 feet deep now. But yeah, just a nobody from the hills of Tennessee have now reached people all over the world through this YouTube platform. Like, it's incredible. So I don't know what the future holds for me, no more than any of you all know what the future holds for any of you, but anything is possible. Literally anything is possible, folks. The sky is the limit. Like, in this day and age, there's no more gatekeepers. You know, when I was a kid growing up, I watched the fishing shows, of course, Bill Dance and Roland Martin and Shaw Grigsby or whatever, Hank Parker. I watched those shows. But for those guys to get those shows, like, they had to be involved in the tournament world. They had to know somebody in the TV industry. They had to have sponsors and all that. They had to have all that before they could get an opportunity to go on TV and get their own show. Nowadays, with YouTube and TikTok and just social media in general, anybody with a cell phone can have their own show. There's no network executive having to give you approval. You don't have to have sponsors to raise money to go film 10 episodes. You just pull out your damn cell phone and film whatever it is that you're doing, fishing or knitting sweaters or collecting rocks or whatever it is you do. If you just want to get on there and, hell, how many of them girls get on there and talk to people while they put on their makeup and get ready to start their day or eat their breakfast or whatever? Like, there's an audience
for everybody, no matter what it is that you're into or no matter what you like to do. And there's nobody holding you back from doing it except yourself. You are the only gatekeeper to your own life. You're it. Because if you've got a cell phone and an internet connection, you can reach potentially millions of people all around the world. Ain't that incredible? So, I mean, the sky's the limit. There's nothing that you can't accomplish. I mean, sure, look, I guess I should qualify that. I mean, if your goal is to be a quarterback in the NFL, like, our bluegill head. Hold on, our bluegill head. He got it in. He got it in. We're hooked up with the bluegill head. We couldn't catch nothing on him when he was alive, but his head got us bit. And I hope he ain't gonna be a monster, so I'm hoping he's 29 3/4 inches. He's not 29 3/4 inches. We will throw him on the board. Yeah, I'll throw him on the board. I don't think he's gonna be. I don't even know if he's worth throwing on the board. We will, just for duties and giggles, but I don't think he's gonna be what we need. He's thrown that bluegill head off too, didn't he? Oh, he threw water right down my shirt. Oh, it's running down my chest. Dadgummit. You old blue kitty, what'd you do that for? Come in here. Come in here. You're gonna lay on this board. I want you to lay on this board and be 29 inches. No, hell, you ain't even 27 inches. I think that fish's belly made me think maybe he was a little bigger than he was. Doggone fish. Let's get that rest of that bluegill. Oh, I threw it behind the cooler. Dadgummit. Doggone it, that bluegill, I threw it behind the cooler when I went to toss it in there. Let me back us off this ledge just a minute. Here. Y'all reach back here, would you? I gotta put the camera back here so I don't lose it out of my chest as I lean over. There he is. Okay. Hold on, let me get y'all back here in the chest. These waves coming at us here. It's a little bit sketchy to be doing that, but we survived it. But yeah, folks, like I said, look, if you want to be an NFL quarterback, probably not going to work out for you, okay? Slim pickings chance on that, unless you're just a younger world-class athlete. But for most things in life, the days of gatekeepers are over, man. If you're really into football and you want your own sports talk show, I mean, before, you would have had to go to school, you'd had to go to a fancy college, get some degree in journalism, probably start out at a college radio station, then maybe get a radio station job, some podunk town, and eventually maybe get picked up for a local TV network and spend years climbing your way up the ladder to hopefully get one of them jobs on ESPN, right? Nowadays, if you want to start a show in your basement, you can do it. Get your computer down there and a microphone in your basement and just talk about sports every day. If you've got a good personality and a will to succeed, there's a chance that you could blow up on the internet and just be a star. And even if you don't, I mean, even if you're never Pat McAfee level, you don't have to be. You can still do what you love to do and earn a little scratch doing it. But 15, 20 years ago, prior to YouTube, that would have been impossible for people like me and you. We would have had no chance without going, like I said, going to a fancy school and getting a journalism degree and kissing the brass ring. Oh, that rod got hit. So it's just a different world now, man. It's a different world. You can do anything you want. And it's pretty awesome. But because you do have so many options and possibilities, it's like, what do you do? Because we've only got so much time. I mean, to get good at anything takes time. So it's like, what do you spend your time on? What is it that you're interested in? What do you love to do? What are you passionate about? Whatever it is, buddy, go for it. Time, daylight's burning, time's wasting. You need to get out there and get after it, man. It can happen for anybody. I mean, I'm living proof of that. I mean, if you told me 10 years ago when I started this YouTube channel, when I uploaded them first clips, that 10 years later, I'm gonna be where I'm at today and have 190,000 people that have hit the subscribe button. I think I'm over 100 million views now between my two channels. Like, that's just mind-blowing number. And I'm not saying all that to toot my own horn or brag. I'm just literally, when I stop and think about it sometimes, because again, I get tunnel vision, right? Like I get locked in and I'm focused on what I'm doing. I'm trying to get the most videos, the most views and all that. I'm not real reflective on stopping and smell the roses. But when I do stop and pause sometimes and just look, I'm like, how the hell did some nobody from the hills of Tennessee do this? Like, that shouldn't happen to somebody like me. But yet here we are. So, I mean, it's possible for anybody. I mean, hell, I'm nothing special, what I've been able to do here. I was just super into kayak fishing. And I started bringing the camera with me on my trips and trying to teach and explain how it was I was doing what I was doing and share that fun that I'm having with others. And it just blossomed from there. So whatever it is you're into, and everybody's into something. Every single one of you's out there. You are into something. You are good at something. And you may think, man, it may be such a small niche, whatever the word is, that you may think, man, I'd be wasting my time. There's there goes that piece of bluegill. Oh, he just dropped it. He let go of it. Did he rip it off? I think he ripped it off. No, it's still on there. All right, let's send it back down. But I mean, you may be thinking, whatever it is you're into, there may just not be very many people. And you're probably right. Maybe there's not. But you know what? When I started this channel, there wasn't that many people that was catching catfish out of kayaks either. Kayak fishing wasn't very popular back then. Catfishing wasn't as popular back then. And the number of people, specifically kayak catfishing, man, it was a handful of people around the country. I mean, it was about as small of a niche as you could get into. But yet here we are, all these years later. So that fish is back after that bluegill again. I don't think it's so much what it is you're into. This fish is into that bait, he just won't hook up on it. Okay, he got it then. He got it in, by gosh, I'm gonna reel him in too. We'll show this fish who's boss. Bluegill's got it done since we cut that thing. Couldn't hardly buy a fish on the live bait, but now we got the head and the chunk eaten. This is gonna be a dink, but a better quality dink. Well, I say that, look at him go now. This may be more of a fun sizer here. He didn't fight hard in the beginning, then he took off. I wonder if he was wrapped up in the line or something initially. He still ain't done. It's gonna be a better fish than I initially thought. Can't get him up far enough to get a look at him. He's going back down. Lordy days. This is a strong fish. He is going to be much bigger than I anticipated, folks. I thought we had a dink. Now I'm not so certain. Let me tighten this drag a little bit, try to get better control of him here. I want to see what this thing is, man. I'm starting to get a little bit excited about it here, honestly. This turned into a better fight. Yeah, a dink, folks, a dink ain't fighting like this. Not this long, not this kind of hard pulls, unless maybe we foul hooked him somehow. If we got one tail hooked, they can do this, but I don't know. Come on, fish. Let me just get a look at you now. He don't want to be looked at. Golly, man. This fish wants nothing to do with you people. There he is. Oh, that is a good fish, buddy. Look at that. That's a beast, man. I would have never thought the way he hit that bait that we had this fish right here. I think that's the biggest one of the day. I think he's going to be bigger than that first one we got. First thing. Dang, man. It's going to be close. That other one may have been longer. This one I think is maybe going to be fatter. Dang, buddy. That's 3 solid fish, man. Plus all the other bites we got today. This is a good day, y'all. It's a real good day when you get action like we've had today with 2 rods. 2 rods and a basic kayak. Yeah, that's a tank right there, man. Oh man, that's awesome. Oh, he just threw that piece of bait off, didn't he? You know what I should do? Bear with me a second. Will y'all bear with me one more second here? While I get us let me do another social media crap. If I can get I can't get my dang phone to work. There we go. Y'all, well, crap. Hold on. Let me do my social media stuff here, folks. Bear with me. He's on the other side of the kayak over here, though. Hell far. Get over here, fish. Get over here and get ready for the camera. Y'all, this fish right here, you talk about a beast, man. The way he hit was like a jaggone dink, and all of a sudden he took off, and I had a fight on my hands, and this thing, man, he turned out to be a whopper. But incredibly odd bite. He does not want to come over here and get on the camera. That is a beast right there, folks. That's my biggest fish of the day right there. That is an awesome fish. Man, y'all, I ain't lying on that video. That is an awesome fish. What a weird bite. Okay, okay. Oh, calm down, fish, calm down. Let's let this pontoon in front of us go by over here. Oh, man. Y'all, that's definitely the biggest. That's definitely the biggest one of the day right here. Man. I just can't believe that fight. I can't believe how it all went down. But the proof is in the pudding right here. We unedited, we uncut. Y'all seen it start to finish. I mean, just, hold on, we got something on that screen, don't we? There it's gone. Take a picture of me and this fish here, would you? Oh, man. This thing right here, buddy, this is one of them Bam Bam Bigelow beasts from the East fish right here. Look at that. Yes, buddy. Wow. That's a dang good fish, man. I would have never believed it. I would have never believed it from how that fight started. It's like he got stronger throughout the fight. Oh, man. There he is. See you, buddy. Oh. That didn't go how I hoped. I was trying to just let him head first go, and he swantoned into the side of the kayak. Y'all, man, that's awesome. On a piece of bluegill down through here, man. We couldn't hardly get that live bluegill. What did we catch? 2 on the live bluegill? 1 or 2. But like, we just couldn't get any attention. We cut that thing up, we get one on the head, and now that one on the chunk, man. Hauling them damn live baits around. When I get back, the vehicle's gonna stink from that nasty water I spilled. But incredible, man. That's awesome. That pumps me up, y'all. Anytime you get big fish, it's fun. But again, when you're in, and I say this all the damn time, but when you're in a kayak, an actual kayak, not one of these plastic boats that these massive kayaks have turned into, but it's just more fun, man. It's just more, you get that adrenaline rush. I love it. Well, here's what I think I'm gonna do though, folks. I think we're close. Where are we at? Yeah, my battery's in the red. So I don't have much battery life left. I think I'm gonna wrap up the video here. What a way to end it on a big fish like that. I'm not done fishing. I'm gonna keep going the course, stay in the course here. You can see we're on that ledge. There's some more fish right there. But you know, again, like this video today, I was hoping to show you a real drift fishing trip. And you know, hopefully it's educational and maybe entertaining enough to get you motivated to do it. And you don't need much. You need a kayak, a couple rod holders, and a graph that will show you depth and speed. That's all you need. And you can go out, and if you got 1 rod, great. I mean, we could have went down through here today with 1 rod and still caught several fish based on, I mean, really, the 1 rod with cut bait was getting all the action for the longest time. So it's just, you can have a blast with very minimal gear. And I know what catfishing's turned into. The $80,000 Sea Arc boats that are 20-something feet long. You need a damn monster truck to tow the thing with. Everybody's running 20 rods with planer boards, and the sports, it's damn near embarrassing what it's turned into, but it don't have to be that way. If you're new, don't be turned off by what you see from other people. You can keep it simple and basic and catch big fish and have a damn good time doing it. So anyway, I'm off my soapbox now. I'm gonna turn off the video, I'm gonna rebait, and I'm gonna keep drifting down through here. I'll see you all in the next video. Turn the camera back on real quick, y'all. This one just went down. Hopefully the battery will last long enough to get him in. This one just got hammered here. This is on a bluegill head. I switched out the skipjack head for a bluegill head when I rebaited after the last fish, and this is another, this is gonna be another dang good fish. I hope the battery lasts, y'all. Our battery's gonna be running on fumes here, but this feels like another good fish. Oh, buddy. I just got baited up, man. I was sitting here, I was looking at them pictures from the tournament fish that we took there earlier, and I still have my camera out, so hopefully it'll work out, but this is a good one. We're on some good fish on this stretch of river right now, man. This shallow section of the river, they're here in good numbers right now. Even right now with the choppier conditions out here, we're still getting bit. Just a matter of getting it in front of their face. Oh man. Those of you that stuck around to the end, there's probably 2 or 3 of you, got you a bonus fish here. This one's gonna be worth seeing too. Man. Boy. Huh. We're just in a tug of war right here. We're in a daggone tug of war. I'm gonna win too. Oh man. I'm trying to get him up here quicker than I normally would because I know we're running on fumes with the battery. It's a blue. He's lashing around, rolling around every which way. That's a good one, man. Mm-hmm. There he is. Not gonna be as big as that last one, but that is still a dang nice fish. I'll be happy with a fish like this any day of the week. We have had such a good day out here, man. Oh, buddy. Come over here, fish. Come over here. Tell these people to make this battery last long enough for me to get a picture with you. Yeah, man. Bluegill head right there. Bluegill head. Got a bluegill chunk on the other rod. I may still have, this thing may still be too green to bring in. I've rushed this whole process. Okay, be good, fish. Be good. I gotta bring him in, I gotta be careful here. Them waves coming at us sideways. Y'all, man. We got another one. Y'all, we got another one. Oh, I hope that camera's gonna last. Hold yourself up there real fast, fish. Y'all, that's so awesome. All right, we'll see you, buddy. He wasn't as big as the last one, but he's strong. It could just be because my arm's getting tired too. Either way, it's a good time, y'all. Yes, all right, now I'm going for real.